Hello everyone, welcome back to Chinspinchats, episode 3. Today I'm joined by Benwell bomber Joe Laws.
Gito. I'm spot mate.
Good man. So for anyone who doesn't know Joe, he's a professional boxer. He's from the northeast. He's had a really successful career so far. Joe, obviously, what kind of things would tell people who's watching who don't know who you are? What can I tell them about yourself?
About myself, I'm just short entertainment. From the amateur days, from growing up, I'm all about putting shows on for my fans, putting shows on for the people who support us. And I'm not a play safe piece. I've took so many fights where I shouldn't have fought. I've took so many fights where I've been the underdog. I just love to fight and I just love to entertain.
That's it. As I say, I've obviously seen you fight. You know, and I know what kind of fighter you are. It's super aggressive, really entertaining style. You know. So in your career, who would you see as being your toughest test so far, pro, and then your toughest test, amateur?
Amateur. I've fought some top names. I've fought the likes of Josh Kelly, Jack Daniels, Ollie Simpson, who was the amateur world champion. I fought a good kid over Hungary, and he boxed in the World Boxing Series, and he fought Errol Spence like 4 years back in the World Games, and he got beaten in the quarterfinals. And he was a fucking hard fight. I remember on the first round, man, and I came out and my fight is 69 kilo, but I was fighting the week after, so I weighed 69 kilo. Got on, I was fit, ready to go. He weighed 72 the night before, so the day after I seen him, and I said to my coach, he can't be the same kid. He looked like a proper big middleweight. So I was fucking shy to myself. And I came with the first round. He went clip, bomb. My legs went. I went, fucking hell, what's going on, yeah? And then I sat back in the corner and I fractured my jaw. And I looked at my coach at the time and yeah, Danny, I can't feel me jaw. He went, listen, son, he says, just get on his chest and fucking go from. The next thing you know, I looked at the floor, I closed my eyes, I flung a windmill and I landed. I was like, thank you, God. And he's upside doing fucking claps. I thought, what a shot, man.
Oh, you knocked him as well.
Knocked him out, but if I didn't land that shot, I was fucking creamed. I was like, yeah, God, thank you very much for fucking that.
I mean, it's big time. I've been hurt in fights before. I remember once I was fighting a guy called Declan Williams. It's still to this day, it's the most I've ever been hurt in a fight. It wasn't even a shot. Like, if you watch the tape, you can't even see that I'm hurt. It was like, you know, when you didn't see someone coming.
Aye.
I remember he was super hard to get a read on. You know, he was a short guy, switching stance, loads of movement. So it was hard for me. I was loads taller than him, trying to get a read on him, you know, because I knew he was trying to get it to lunge in. A stupid one on the top, so I just had to stay super safe, walk him down and stuff. And it was weird. He did like a little switch stance and then a little switch kick. And I didn't even see it coming. My hands were super tight because I thought he was going to track me to the top. And it just snuck up under me arm and just body kicked us, and absolutely killed us all. It's the worst
number.
Killed us. I was just fucked. It was like my lungs were on fire, and basically ended up fucking brushing him against the fence, and ended up fucking. He tried to do like it's called a lateral drop, like a sacrifice kind of throw. But he kind of fucked it, and I ended up on his back, and I choked him straight away. And it was the exact same thing as that. I remember when I was choking him, like when it was done, I was like, thanks. Because
I was fucking done.
I was getting anywhere near him. It was a nightmare. Switching stance, kicking as low as I couldn't get anywhere near him.
Them small kids, you know, like me as an amateur, I boxed, like I say, I boxed 69 kilo, and I was 10 for the weight. So I don't mind boxing like tall, skinny kids. I hate boxing short kids, me, you know. Now these short, stocky fuckers, they're like this. I'm like, fuck, yeah, I can't catch you still.
I've lost his weight so much more.
Nightmare. What's the price? Could you're about 7'3", you're boxing 60 kilo.
I see a fucking David cutting obviously fucking cut a lot of water, so obviously I'm big for the weight, but
them cuts are fucking horrible on the man, mate.
Horrible. Who hasn't done them, it's fucking It's harder every time, you know what I mean? Especially for me, obviously getting a bit older now. I'm nearly 30, so every time the last few is just been progressively worse and worse and worse.
You can wake up literally a stone over your fight weight and be singing 7% body fat lean, but people don't know the like pulling the water, like the no carbs, no salt. It's fucking hard mentally, man. Mentally hard.
Brutal. And as I say, it's just one of them things. And then obviously you can get into a fight because of that and then lose. And people didn't see the outside things. Nah, just see on the night side.
There's loads of factors, the making weight factor, just the life fucking. It's like, I would say a 12-week camp, you probably feel good for a week. And the other 11 just are struggling it. And the next year, you're in the cage or you're in the ring in front of thousands, thinking to yourself, what the fuck am I doing, yeah?
every time I remember, this is God's honest truth, I remember my first ever fight. I think I was 12-year-old, was at the Ramside Hall, my first boxing fight. I fought a kid from Wally Potts when Glenn Foot and all that was before they moved to our gym.
He was a handful of fucking money.
I boxed a kid from their gym, Ryan James, and I remember I was in the changing room warming up, and I remember I don't know what I was thinking. It was mad because it was the first time I'd ever done it. You know, first time I'd sparred loads every night in the gym, but that was my first fight. And I remember stood there seeing the kid who I was fighting, and I remember thinking, like, what the fuck have I done this to myself? All my mates are at home on the computer or doing whatever now, and I'm here shitting me fucking pants about to get out there and from all these people that fucking I was thinking, I wish my dog would just get us
my first fight, man, I was there. I think I was 13 or 14, same as you. I was boxing downtown in the Premier Inn, and me kid at the time only had hairy armpits. And when you're 13, I looked up and I'm sure you have a tattoo, a towel and hairy armpits. I was thinking to myself, he must be able to bang him. Me, not a pube to be named, Reese. I think, he's a hardcore to him. Shouting me, sir.
It's still, I mean, that's the same thing. I think I was cursed at the Ramside Hall because that was I had my first fight there, then I had my third fight there. I had one of my senior fights there later on, but my third fight there, you know how back in the days when we first started boxing, you would box obviously the vest and all that. Hey God, and we used to put our gum shield down the vest when we're warming up. So
I see my.
Put it on. Put the gum shield there and I'm warming up. I'm like, right, I'm going to Joe Purvis. I'm going to have to go for a piss. Runs in the change room, not even thinking. Whips me fucking towel out and just the gum shield just drops out the bottom of the fucking vest into the bog. I'm literally just about to down. I was in the bog. Me and I was like, no, what have I done here?
5 seconds real quickly.
It was fucking brutal, but funny as fuck. You know, it was a good kind of. I like amateur boxing days obviously done a lot for me when I was a kid coming up, you know, it seems from being the biggest shitbag ever. You know
same.
It's I mean, they took us all over the world, you know what I mean? We went a team went out to boxing in a place called Blackrock Rugby Club. It's where McGregor boxes. That's where his boxing gym. We went out to fight a team against them. There was loads of us went, but there was only about 5 or 6 of us ended up boxing. But it was like gone back in time, like 500 years. There was fucking 2 kids who were doing the ring time with a little toffee hammer. So some of the rounds were like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, just whenever. And it was mad. Like, obviously gone out there. Little Iron Greenwell when we were on the way out because he had a fucking bomb in his bag, so they were fucking going to stop playing and that. And we were mooching about just a fucking young and daft kids. And I have a fucking. It was the middle of the day in Dublin, and I just had a piss at the side of this phone box on the pier. And some fucking woman come running out, so I was like, fuck, so I took off and I hid, and she ran out to Joe Purvis and she's like fucking shouting at Joe and saying all this shit about these lads, because we all had the same kit on and all that. And when she left, Joe was like, right, which one of you has fucking done that? It's disgusting, I'm left piss in the middle of the day. And I was like, oh, pointing at Ethan Kelly, I was like, was Ethan? And Chris Bernicle was like, you fucking queen bastard, it's fucking you, you've got piss all over your shoes. I was like, fuck's sake. But I mean, the gym went to Canada, I went all over. I missed the Canada trip when all the lads were meant to fight in Canada. I was in the junior ABA finals, and I was the only one who couldn't go, you know what I mean? So I missed out on that. Has boxing took you? Obviously, I know you've been in Vegas and stuff like that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Vegas, I went well, in fact, Vegas, I've got a story with Vegas. It was me and Jordan Reynolds who got picked to fight for to go down on England trials. And the first time I met him, I only see him on social media. And on social media, he acted cocky and all this. So I was thinking to myself, oh, he's gonna be right pricking like in real life. But he was one of the soundest kids ever, and I proper got on well with him. And I said to Jordan, and I saw just just tournament in general. And he went to LA by himself when he was 15 and spotted Ferry Roach's gym. And yeah, I take some balls out. Like I said, how much would it be going to Vegas? And he's going, yeah, bruv, let's go. I've been serious. I went, because I'm game. He says, we both had a fight for the English title, I think, in 4 weeks' time. So I says, right, well, I tell you what, if I win my fight, if you win your fight, let's book and go. And we both won. And then I rang him on the phone, and I walked in Thomas Cook, and he walked in Thomas Cook on the phone, and booked the hotel, and we booked the holiday there and then. It was just fucking crazy.
Spontaneous.
I was just one of them spontaneous holidays, and we went there. We went to Mayweather's gym, and spawned Devin Haney. There's undefeated pro, and there's like top prospect, there's amateur. In every sport, I was hungover the bits I was. Because obviously, whatever 2 weeks, so we're training every day.
But going out underneath.
We were drinking as well. And the hardest sport I had against Devin Haney, and the day before, it was the top club, the big night out at Caesar's Palace. I said, yeah, Jordan, we can't miss this. So went there. We got back at 5 a.m. I was fucking steaming. I woke up after 3 hours, kept sleep in my eye. I was absolutely hanging out. Yeah, Jordan, there's no way I'm spawning in me with this gym now. He looked at me, bruv, stop being a pussy, bruv. Well, yeah, you know what? Fair play, yeah. So I got up, I got 2 espresso shots down this. I walked in the gym. I was like, who am I spawn? When I spawned him there, this little kid, slick as out. I looks at him. What's his name? Devin Haney. I see Jordan. He's called Devin Haney. Is any good? And then saw smell. He went, he's having like, when I saw no problem, I'll fucking spoil you. And to be fair, you know, like I'm not bushing. I braid him, you know. Obviously, he's fucking miles ahead of me now in the pro game. But on that day in Spawn, it could have been the vodka. It could have just been fucking on the night, but I fucking punch his head, you know. And still to this day, he denies it. I'm an honest guy, me. Like, yeah, Devin, world champion, millions of quid. I'm jealous here. But on that day, I fucking braid you. Just be a man and admit it.
I've heard you talk about that before. I think it was after one of your fights. You were sitting on the side of the ring when the gear. Like, I heard you say about that before. I wanted to ask you about it. Like, it's obviously they've got a club there, aren't they? On Mayweather's gym. What's it called? Is it do some kind of they've got a name for it. I can't remember what it is. It's like fucking where they basically stand in Spawn, just have wars. I can't remember.
Doghouse room. No, I did well fucking my first spar, I spot this amateur, and I think what they do, you go in and they test you to see how good you are. Because I had 3 spars, and every spar the kids got better and better. And the last spar was against Devin Haney. And the first spar I sparred against his top amateur. And Jordan sparred this top amateur. Jordan stopped him. And I sparred the kid. And all the Americans were banging on the ring, going, whoa, like that. No trying to intimidators. And I think I've got the clip on my phone. I'll show you soon. I dropped my hand, and I say to the kid, come on, hit us. And I let the kid hit his flush about 8 times in the face. And then after he hit us, I went, nah, now. And I just absolutely braid him all over. But little did you know, the 6 shots stunned us to bits. I was thinking, so what the fuck did I do that for? but after the first spar, all the Americans probably respected me, you know what I mean? And then we came back 2 weeks later, had a good spar. And obviously the third spar, I was cameras there, Mayweather's dad was there. It was pure mental. Like I was sparring Devin Haney. In Devin Haney's corner, he had Mayweather's dad. In my corner, had Jordan Reynolds. Wearing the Primark vest, fire trap fucking trainers. He had his proper fucking grandkid on and all that. I was like, oh yeah. I'd cast second-hand headguards, heavy as fuck. But like I say, it's main crack, like even just boxing in general. If it wasn't for like amateur boxing, I'd be flying with the streets, fucking getting up to no good, probably getting arrested by the police every weekend for smashing windows, just being a little bastard. But boxing saved us. I boxed at Granger Park, and I moved to Berkeley. And now, like, my highlight of growing up was going down to watch the school boys, to watch the the junior ABAs, staying in the Premier Inns with like me past at the time, Callum French, the McCormick twins. But like we had a proper laugh.
Mint. That's exactly what it was for us. I mean, there was like loads of good kids who we come up with, you know, but like there was like say Kirk Goodens, James Farley were a little bit elder than me, but like we were the fucking mad team, you know what I mean? We'd get away. I used to, Jimmy Richardson would be asleep after the show, had a couple of beers or whatever, and I would fucking wrap him up in toilet roll and he'd fucking kick us all out, you know what I mean?
Fucking good crack,
like,
man,
fucking, one time, that one in Ireland, man, everyone, I was a kid, mate, and didn't end up boxing. There was only, as I said earlier, there was only about 5% of boxing, and I got fucking tanked up, mate. I was fucking pissed as what in there. I remember John Slater, Jake's dad. Like, we were all in the room. I think everyone was pissed. Man, I can't remember if I.
He's a good man,
he's a
you
good
know.
man, John. He's got me loads throughout my fucking career, like training and that.
He came to Burley and he was doing the some conditioning, and his famous saying was, "Get up, you little beware." You know I could do that. He used to beast with it. I was be half dead. Yeah, you fucking beware. I mean, now I can do that, man. I'm like, how fit you now? I'm fucked.
I can't remember if I hit him on the head with a spoon. I can't remember if it was a spoon or a telly remote. It was something like that, but I think I flung it off his head or something, and John jumped up and fucking chased us down the fucking corridor, and I was like, fucking, I was a kid, I was like, he's gonna fucking smash my face in here, so I'm like sprinting me fucking fastest down this corridor. And there was this massive fire door, and I remember just fucking panicking for my life. So I just slammed the fire door, and John just ran straight and smashed all the window on it. And that it was fucking hell on because of it. But just fucking funny trips, man. We went all out, you know what I mean? It was.
His son boxed at Jake as well.
Jake's great.
It was a cracking kid.
Me train. He had this. There's been loads of times we've like trained each other in the squad and that. But he had this like loads, especially from the last one. We did loads of sparring. He's
No, he's a proper sound kid. Well, two get some son in them. As McLeod and Jay got two proper sound kids.
That's the lads who I trained with Son and ABC. That's why I started boxing there. Most of me change, you know.
That Joe Pérez, I like him. Well, in the ABAs, like in my region, it was like there was three kids, me, Tom Hill, and Travis Waters. There was always us three, like the top three of the region. And I used to always fight about Tom Hill or Travis Waters, and I fought Travis Waters twice. And but no, every time I see Joe Pérez, I really like him. Now as a coach, he's just really neat, like fucking but he's fucking proper good crack.
I mean, I've been all over him, mate. I mean, boxed at fucking Crystal Palace Leisure Centre. In the final of the junior ABAs. See, all them went to Canada, and Joe stayed back to come to the final with me, you know what I mean? So all them went out there, and he come to London with me, and I lost the fucking one. And then ended up being a mid-weekend anyway, you know what I mean? We went out in Soho and went different places after the fight and got some beers in and that. It was fucking awesome, man, you know what I mean? As I say, boxing in championships, you get all over the place, and it's just it's a special thing, you know.
It's good because not the bang things so like I've been getting punched in the face for 12 years. It's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy.
It's like most people go for the life not having one fight.
That's it.
Now that when you train for a camp and you spar, like most of my spars are probably harder than my fights, man.
Sure, I can't think of a million spars I've had that has been like fucking
wars. That night, I've got ice packs on my head, taking paracetamol because I've got a split headache. Thinking, yeah, if I felt like this, I'd get knocked out. Didn't you, man? It's proper mind games, isn't it?
I fought for a world title in South Africa, right, mate? And fucking, normally for our fights, say if pro MMA fights, 3 5-minute rounds. If it's a world title fight in any organisation, it's 5-minute rounds. Well, when I fought for the title in the AFC in South Africa, obviously when we're training for a 3-round MMA fight, we do on a Saturday we'll do fresh man spawn. So for 3 5-minute rounds, you'll get a fresh man, and it's fucking hell. It's like a war as well. It's horrible, gassy, disgusting fucking thing. But for that one, I had to do 5. So I was getting fresh man for 5 rounds, but with the wrestling and grappling, it's fucking disgusting. And we went to St. Helens, and I went because I was fighting a guy called Lutando Biko. He was like 5'4". He was like really short guy, wrestling kind of guy, really good judo player, medal in the Commonwealth Games and stuff. Like it was an awful fight, so I had to try and emulate people his kind of stamp, you know what I mean? So I went down there to spar with Conor Hignett and Danny Randolph and Ryan Crichton, and they're like really short, stocky guys. And I went there. I thought I was originally going down to spar 2 guys and just get fresh man off them each round. So I was like, the first that was my first time doing 5-5s as well. Ended up getting there, and there was 3 of them. And I had spot Danny Randolph the first round. And then second round, I spot Brian Crichton. Brian Crichton hit us for a fucking massive left hook straight off the pattern. No, spotting him.
Aye.
Spots with the little gloves, but he's a heavy-handed little fucker. Fucking rang me bell so bad. Like, fuck.
Your full body gets buzzed, man, innit? It's fucking noise.
It's terrible. Brought a shock to the system. But we're in this tiny little cage in there. Jim was on me and Fisher went down, and there's people watching and that, and everyone's fucking shooting. So it's like a fight for me. Like, I remember going into the last round, it's like pure trenches, got through it on the way home, fucking all the way home. It was just a fucking daydream.
It's fucking naughty, man.
Horrible, man.
Them 4-ounce gloves, man. Why do you spawn them for?
No, they're kind of similar. So they see them gloves up there. They 4-ounce fighting gloves, but the gloves are spawn is like 7. They're kind of similar shape, but they're a bit more domed.
Still, though, it's fucking.
Fingers are still out, but it's like a little dome.
Naughty, man, isn't it?
It's brutal, mate. It's fucking years off your life, like. It
does, aye.
It's years off your life. I remember reading some of the performance saying every time a kid heads a football, it's so many.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking, how many you know yourself.
If that's the case, I'm dying in 2 years' time.
When I first started boxing for something, it was. You'd get in, you'd skip, you'd shadow box, you'd do loads of fucking rounds on the bags, different fucking bag sessions. Then you'd spawn. This was
I spawn last year. I
brought what?
It's the same as I remember Burley, man. It was like me, Pat McCormick, Luke McCormick, Tommy Ward, Callum French. And we used to spawn like 10-ounce gloves, no wraps, no gum shield. Dad, like 4 years of age, not giving a fuck. I'm like, no wonder I'm fucking packed new.
That's it.
I've had a hard old innings, me, like.
That's it. I sit there sometimes and I think, like, how much damage must I have taken out of the years? You know, I started sparring properly in fighting when I was like 12. I'm 29 now. I've had 41 fights as well as all the fucking spars. I think, gee, and I've knocked myself out on fucking bikes. I've knocked myself out on fucking skateboards. I'm a fucking idiot, you know what I mean?
I'm surprised I fucking passed a brain scan. I was surprised.
The fuck mine, didn't it?
It was.
It was a fucking nightmare, man. It was fighting in South Africa, right? So the first time I went out there, it was because obviously fighting on smaller shows, it's not as the medical requirements is not as fucking advanced to a local show. You know, it's a local show. It's the date, but it's not like thing. Whereas when you get on the bigger stages, you got to get brain scans, fucking all these
more regulations and shit.
More regulations. So, I fought on ACB, which is a Russian show, massive show. I'd watched it fucking years. It was a fucking mad kids, and I just remember looking and thinking, fucking hell, there's some mad fights on that, and ended up getting offered a fight on it. Fought on it. Then after that, EFC in South Africa, they offered us a contract. I'd only ever fought at a catch weight. I used to fight at featherweight. Then I did a catch weight at 140. And then they were like, oh, we'll sign you. We'll give you a multi-fight deal to come out and fight all your fights in South Africa. But you have to fight at 135. So I was like, all right. So the first time they gave a catch weight at 140, I did it. Fought at altitude, fought in Johannesburg. It was fucking mad. It was lethal. Unreal. Fucking McDonald's has got fucking armed guards and electric fences and that, just a mad place, but it was like a proper bush. You know, I remember walking out in this fucking, the cage was here, but normally, like, no, it's the same in boxing shows. You've got your boxing ring, then there's like where the judges and all that shit, so there's a gap, and then the crowd. This one, the fucking crowd was
just there.
Got in. Actually, I'll never forget it. I can still picture it like clear as day in my head, man. I got in, right? I remember walking out, and this fucking seats just went right up. I was like, fucking hell, this is mad, you know what I mean? I remember got in there and I was just looking about, I just sorting it in because the kid hadn't come out yet, so I was just in the keys. I was like, fucking hell, get myself up for a bit. And I was like looking around and I just seen these fucking dudes sitting there, this fucking white South African dude. It's like, hey Callum, you're looking for some supporters, mate? Fuck you. I was like, fucking hell.
Fuck you too, motherfucker.
Fuck this cunt, you know what I mean? Like, fucking hell. I just remember the fight went the way it did, you know what I mean? I won the fight, I got bumped, I dropped the kid and everything, I got bumped, and then that kind of worked in my turn, and then it kind of got us loads of support.
Let's go from there,
just fighting out there and stuff. But what happened was that was the first brain scan I'd ever done when I fought there that first time. And then when I signed a Bellator, because my brain scan from that first one was in date for the whole time in AFC, then I signed with Bellator, and then they asked us for a brain scan when I fought Nathan Grayson, my first fight at Newcastle at the Metro Radio. And I just says, oh, I've got one in date. There's the report from it. And they were just like, all right, I send no worries, crack on, you know what I mean? So I fought. And then I got matched by James Gallagher, main event in Dublin. And everything was class, training mint. And then I get a phone call about a couple of weeks out saying, oh, you need another brain scan. You're the one, the medical requirements in Ireland's different. Somebody fought Charlie Ward, and I think it was the Charlie Ward fight, and the kid ended up dying after.
Sure, man.
So the medical requirements in Ireland's like we're like on top, you know. So they were like, no, you need another brain scan. So fuck's sake, it's like nearly another grand out in the arm.
Aye.
Gets the fucking brain scan anyway, still training, biggest fight of my life, about a main event in Channel 5, and that against a good kid, you know what I mean? Well-known kid as well. And I get a phone call saying, oh, there's something come up in your brain scan, they're not happy with it, you've got to go and get a neurologist's assessment. And I was like,
you're fucking shaking yourself.
I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know a neurologist. How am I going to find this? And it was kind of like, you just got to do it, you know what I mean? So I was like, fucking hell. So ringing about, I speak to fucking Ward, who's Dan Hardy's manager. He puts us in touch with some guy in London who James Teo, he's got James Teo, apparently he's dealt with people who's had this situation before. So I've got fucking used Bellator's taking money because I didn't have a penny fucking skin. Used Bellator's taking money to get to London, paid the fucking money for the private doctor, and straight away I walked in and he's like, nah, you need to retire and that. And I was like, what are you fucking talking about? I've never been put on my back, I've never been dropped off a punch in my life, you know what I mean? I was like, fucking, what are you talking about? He's like, do you black out all the time? And I was like, black out? I was like, nah, I've never blacked out ever, you know what I mean? I mean, I've been choked to sleep a couple of times, but I've never blacked out, you know what I mean? I was like, nah, what are you talking about? He's like, well, your brain scan, basically what the indications are here is if somebody just had a bad car accident, this is the same brain as what somebody who just, I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, this report here, so he's saying like 1%, like a very small percent of the world is born with this small gap in their frontal lobe in the brain, but by adulthood it closes down and it's pretty much gone, or it is gone. But he says like there's a very small percent where that's kind of, I think it was he's saying by adulthood it is gone, and he was saying but there's a very small really small percentage that sometimes it's still there, and he was saying like, but your other scan you didn't have this, so your brain's basically separating, and he says you've got 3 black spots of damage on the side. So I was like, fucking hell. He was like, basically, he was like, do you know Muhammad Ali? I was like, well, you fucking got Muhammad Ali, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I love the cunt.
I'm about fucking back, you know, man. Of course I don't.
No, I was like, well, of course I do. So he's like, well, basically, this is the start of conditions like that. This is the early signs that we look for in Parkinson's.
Fucking hell, man.
Like, but obviously, I'm emotional. I'm cutting weight. I'm right next to me fight anyway. This is about a week out at this point. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
what a fucking time God see you, you know what I mean?
I'm about to, what the fuck? Like, because basically the fight's not going to go ahead. That's the situation I'm dealing with here. So I'm like, well, is there any way I can get signed off for this fight, put your name and sign us up for this fight? I'll have the fight and then I'll evaluate it after this. And he's like, honestly, mate, I wouldn't even ever spar again, ever. I'm like, what are you talking about? If you do other things in the meantime, like if you maybe still grapple, if you're not taking damage there, if you could honestly take another punch in your life. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I'm fine to spar all the time. Everything's fucking good to go. You know, I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm fucking fantastic. What are you talking about? And he's like, basically saying all this stuff to us. It wouldn't sign it. I'm like, look, I'll pay you just to put your signature on it and I'll fight. And then I'll fight a grappler anyway. It's not that I'm going to take loads of punches, loads of damage. I'm like, he's a grappler. And it's not going to be that kind of fight. And he's like, no doctor in the world will say this and let you fight. Anyway, the fight ended up getting cancelled and stuff like that. And he basically says, look, the only way that you'll ever be able to get cleared again is if you could somehow prove that the doctors in South Africa were wrong. And you haven't got all this stuff in your brain. He's give, but your last scan here, we've got, it's there. So in this report, it says it wasn't there. So it's a massive difference in a really short period of time. So I'm like, fuck's sake, panicking. I'm speaking to AFC. I'm like, is there no way you can get us like the scan images so we can kind of compare them? And they're like, basically, it was dead end after dead end after dead end. So I was like, what the fuck? So speaking to me, mate, Big Al, his name on there, the Big Al podcast, Alistair Bishop. I was telling a story recently to someone else, and basically he lives right next to where that lab is, the surgery. So he was going to the surgery. Basically, they were saying, they were sending him away, and they were like, oh, there's a doctor who's coming in a few weeks' time, a couple of weeks' time. She'll be able to help you. Wait for her, get her guns in, and basically I get a message on. He's like, look, Carl, I'm here at the place. The lady says, if you give us confirmation that I'm allowed to get these files of your medical history, I can give you an encrypted file and you can open it, scan it. I was like, fucking 100%, put her on, sorted it. He sends us them. I sent it to Safe MMA and straight away. And a couple of days later, I get the phone call and they're like, look, like this. Good news and bad news. The bad news is there's no reason that you shouldn't have fought on that show there. You should have fought. The good news is you will be able to fight again because the doctors in South Africa, when they first originally did the first scan, they've just said no to all this stuff, but your first scan is exactly the same as the second. So there's been no change in your brain. Whether it's damaging stuff that you've had from before you did the scan, we don't know. You could have been born with this, but nothing's changed in that time. So
since on the two scans.
So there's no reason why you can't fight, and that's exactly what
this is the shit what people don't say though, like before fights and all that, man. It's fucking
it's mad, isn't it, mate? It's one of them things like. And it's so easy for fucking people outside who don't understand it to criticize people.
Oh, I
bet you get it yourself. You know? Especially if your last one.
Yeah, man.
You lose people.
I get people
want it. You know,
I get people calling nonsense and shit. I'm sitting back thinking to myself, Reese, fair enough. I'm close to bar boxer, Reese. Didn't like me style, fair enough. I'm like, don't touch kids, mate. It's not fucking hell out there. There's a fucking lane, fucking man. You just crossed it there. Fucking large, man.
I've heard people saying that I owe them their rent money and everything, man.
Man, I could down with that. I'm like, fucking your fucking shit, we're going to do.
I bet we
saying I do fucking Losey 7 is the grass. He touches kids. I'm like, whoa, hold on there, man. It's fucking mental, man.
But it's
so much hate.
That's it. It's because if you're putting yourself on a platform and trying to get after it, Joe, and you're taking chances, as you see, you're taking hard fights, and you're putting yourself on a massive stage with loads of eyes on you, man. Not many people.
People feel every day just like fucking. They might not get the job. They might not perform on the job interview. Whereas if we feel it's for the millions, you know what I mean? So it's just one of them things.
That's it.
But you can do everything right in life and people are still fucking
that's it. That's why
they'll still hate on you. So I've got just be you and just do what you want.
That's exactly it. I mean, it's one of them things as well. It's like it's what we do, especially like fighting's mad anyway, but to fight at a professional level, but then to fight at a high professional level, it's like not many people get to experience that, and people look at it, and it's one of them things. Man, everyone would want to do it. I bet you would get up any single man in the world and say if you had the ability now to fight a professional fight, so you've done it. Every single one of them start behind us, but it's one of them things. You've got to be a certain kind of person to do it. So many people hate you for doing it because they haven't got that in them to do it. It's
jealousy because them wish them could have the ability to do the camp, do the press conferences, to get in the but the cons where the gimp mask. I bet you're the same. I know fighting in the arena, winning, stand up on the cage or on the ring, doing that to all your fans. If someone says to me, I'd give you $100 now to take that feeling away, I'll tell them fuck off. Now that feeling when I landed my left hook and I knocked out Chris Truman and I walked away and I was fucked. And I know when the fight, he was fucking packing on the floor. And I jumped up on the ring and done that and to everybody. And literally I could see everybody who went I was like, pal, auntie, nana, ma. I was like, this is fucking mint this. And it was just the best feeling ever, man. The best feeling ever.
It's so real, man. I see it even.
If you could bottle that and sell it, you'd be a millionaire, wouldn't you, man?
Cracking something it all out.
Oh, fuck me, man. Even after a good spar, you fucking feel mint, didn't you? It's just a mint feeling, man.
It's crazy, man.
It's when a man versus man and you get better that man,
it's like, what? After being in the trenches and getting a win, man.
Mint.
I was fighting, it was my second fight in South Africa in Cape Town. I was fighting the poster boy of the organisation, 5 Shoots. Really good. He's world champion out there now. He's killed everybody since, beat some fucking world class kids. Done some really good things since. And I knew it was going to be a horrible kind of fight. He was mostly like a kickboxer kind of style, but like super explosive, really athletic kid. And I'd watched these fights. I mean, I'd seen him knock someone out with a fucking jumping front kick, you know what I mean? Fucking stuff like that.
Mortal Kombat shit.
Anytime he would say something, the organisation would like a graphic of it and tag me in it. So I'd read all this shit he was saying about knocking us out and that. And well, fucking hell, like this is the first time. And obviously I'd fucking fought loads of times, but this is the first time someone's actually gone at this. So I was like, fucking hell, this kid's game is fuck, you know what I mean? So I was like seeing shit fucking that. And they would send us videos saying in loads of South African people messaging us, Spy's going to knock you out, you're next, and this and that. He's knocked this many people out, kickboxing, he's knocked this many people out, you're next. And that. I'm watching it and I think, fuck this cunt.
What the fuck's this good time?
And I remember I got there, and it's mad, man. I remember we kept like seeing each other and that, and I was like nodding at each other and that, and I was like, we did a public weigh-in. And he had his face made, and he's like shouting all this shit, and I my face, and I was just laughing, you know. I was there just laughing, and I was like, fucking hell, it's on. You know? And I remember fucking being nervous as fucking.
Your heart's got nine beats, you see them and that.
Telecams on, I'm like, fucking, this is fucking real. And what now? It's the first time I got my first ever custom pair shorts, you know, with stripes on, loads of mad shit on that, and I was like, fucking feeling it, you know what I mean? Walking out now. We're a kid who'd been training with there, Dion Brunnan, a South African kid, we mate Al, who sorted their brain scans out from the Big Al podcast. He cornered us in it, and walking out, and I get in and fucking, I stood, you know, you get in the cage, you walk around, and that, but I stood at the entrance, and I just thought, fuck this, I'm just going to stand here and wait for it. So, you know, I'm not done the whole way, but when I was walking out, when his family were like, sticking their hands through the crowd, and I was put off and that, you know, I was walking through, and I was like, look at this, and I'm like, let's Gans in, ends up in a fucking horrible position straight away, gets me shoulder absolutely fucking banjoed horrendously, like gets trapped in this get my position with the arm right on me back, fucking basically have to give up me back just to stop my shoulder getting snapped. Turns around, just fucking elbows me fucking head clean off. I just remember like, top my head, and I was like, every time, like, bang, sharp, horrible, hard elbow. Splits me head a couple of times. I look down, I just see fucking blood dripping all out. I'm like, fuck's sake, you know. Getting out, end up reversing him. Joe puts him to sleep. And I remember, I knew it was super tight. I was thinking, fucking hell, this kid's got fucking gills. I remember locking it so tight. Normally, I'm like, fucking hell, people are well tapped by now. And I'm squeezing, compress everything. And I'm
what's your move? Fucking guillotine.
Just a guillotine. I think
that's your little move.
By guillotine, or really a choke.
I bet you've got a naughty headlock from school. Fucking daft good.
I remember putting him to sleep after coming from the church and I had blood all over my feet. And I remember I got in the cage and just loads of people were just shouting stuff at us. It's like, fucking.
And then gets up, lethal.
It's like, need money in the world, you know, if someone offered you, there's a contract now, we're going to tap that feeling from you and you'll never remember any of that. Nah.
You wouldn't, would you? Nah.
Because that's, you've sacrificed so much to get that.
Life's about, like, there are moments in life where materialistic things being out is like when you think back, I've been boxing since I was 14 and everything's
led on.
It's led to this, and it's just it's a big rush, man. It's fucking mint in it.
It's fucking special, man.
And as soon as you put on the gloves, whereas boxing or MMA, you can never take them off, can you, man? It's just like
you've got it forever.
I'll be fighting until the day I retire, and even when I retire, I'll probably still be spawning in the back. You know what I mean? It's just inward.
That's it. It is. It's a fucking special thing. I mean, as I said earlier, you've got to be a special kind of person to do it. It takes a lot, and I mean, obviously, I don't know how bad you suffer with nerves yourself, Joe. You know, I'm
honest with me. I shit myself. But I just put on this face where now I'm a ball. I'm taking it in because the way I look at it, either way, I can absolutely shit myself and let me nerves get rid, or I can try and be. Either way, I'm getting in the ring and fighting. You know what I mean? So I have to just take it in, just try and enjoy it.
That's it, trying to avoid what it is. I mean, that last one, we were quarantined, man. It was mad. And then the crowd and
CMI
just feel like the fight.
It didn't.
I wasn't.
It was quiet.
I wasn't in the venue fighting.
No hype, no anything. Is it?
Like they literally picked us up from the hotel because they were doing like a conveyor belt. Picked us up from the fucking hotel like half an hour before we fight. I went there, warmed up.
One fight. Metal.
I jumped in, fights comes by, and it was. I remember walking out, and it was like the biggest fight in my life, biggest stage in my life, live on Channel 5. And I remember walking out, and it was like being in the gym. There was nothing.
It is,
even without the crowd, even if they just let us be in the venue all day, I would have probably nerves. And it was obviously you're nervous. You know you're having a fight, but it wasn't like fight nerves.
No, it wasn't.
Grace in that. I remember being backstage, and I remember being emotional as fucking, thinking like, great. Whatever happens here,
nerves make you perform more, didn't they?
Well, I got my fucking face smashed into the other side. I ended up winning, but it was a fucking run-out fight. Busted up pretty bad.
I think when people's there, it's a flight or flight. You know what I mean? Like even when you sport and people are watching you sport, and like if you get covered goes short, you think, oh yeah, I'm gonna let some kid like fucking get the better of me. And you just come back straight away. Whereas when you fight in quarantine, in your head, you're like, yeah, no one's watching.
Aye.
So if I have a bad day, it doesn't really matter. They'll do you're in front of fucking millions on the fucking in front of the full room.
Gets out, literally looks at me for just fucking thousands of messages, just people.
Yeah.
And I lost that last one. I was thinking,
I'm
horrible.
Same as me. I'd win the fight next year now. Oh, the Benwell bomber is the next best thing. Next year I get beat with loads of background up to that fight where I shouldn't even been fighting. I get beat next year now. Oh, Joe Rose is shite. Benwell bomber, overhyped. You just can't win, can you?
That's it. You can't win. And if you win in fights, you pick something about you. Oh, you're not fighting this one. You're not fighting that one. You do these fights, or you win a fight, or you lose, and it's just fickle, and they're just cheap.
2 weeks before my last fight, man, I had to go and see a private doctor, and I had to get injections up my arse. I got like gastritis, had food poisoning, and they said something like the my thing is bacterial, so it could come back. So the fight week, it came back, and my belly was going mad. My belly kept swelling. So like for 4 days, I didn't eat. So after I got weighed in, I couldn't build myself back up. So the day after I fought, I weighed in 146. I woke up on the day of the fight, 148 pounds something. So I only put on 2 pounds from weighing into thingy. I just felt kind of empty, mate.
It's a horrible feeling, and you get in there, and I've done it myself. You know, I spoke about it on my last podcast. We go through, and it's like, people didn't see that in the way you fight because of that. You don't fight because you reserve yourself because you feel like you're drained anyway. So you don't try the things you don't. Fight. See if
because like I was scared to get to try and push myself because I knew I didn't have it. I knew I didn't have the gas tank, so I thought myself, right, I'll try and out hustle him. But my style is, I'm an energy fighter. I'm a strong fighter. I was just a proper shadow of myself. I shouldn't have fought, but I'm 26 years of age. I did. It's in the past. I learned from it now, what I mean?
That's what's good.
Yeah, I got fucking coma on the forehead. Next thing I'm upside down. I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing, yeah? So I get up. I'm sound. I couldn't feel my feet. I was frozen. I came back in. I got dropped again. I thought, sorry, yeah. I swear to God, I'm getting banjoed, yeah. I went, yeah, if I'm getting beat swinging. I got up, my legs are fucking wet. I went, yeah, I've got one good shot left in this. Please, God, let it land. I came out, and I put everything in his uppercut, you know. I went, woof, and I missed him by a fanny's hair. And as I missed him, he just went, whoo. And I seen the start, he couldn't hunt this down. I was like, oh, fuck shit. It was fucking mental, man.
I said that last one now, and I fell for that on the Guthrie one. When I've gone out to the 5th round, I've been fighting for 20 minutes already, and I was fucking exhausted. Like, worst cut ever, worst weird cut. I had a cut under my eye where I hit us with a fucking heat seeker and rang me bell the round prior. Fucking seen it coming from fucking miles away, just little glove, just boom, fucking straight away, eye split. Everything going on good. And I remember going out that 5th round and same thing. I just remember thinking, right, there's no way I'm winning this. I've got the empty way, and it just fucking land one of these on his fucking.
Oh my God, please, isn't it?
I don't know, I land one on his chin, you know what I mean? I've heard some fucking good big kids, you know what I mean? So, flipping everything into it, and it was, honest to God, mate, I can't stress enough how it was slow motion. It was just like, I flung a shot, and I just seen it happening before my eyes. Just,
crazy, in the man.
Diving for my legs, and I'm already too far out. Just upside down.
At this point, you realise you fucked up.
Head just bounced off the mat. Everything's fucking spinning, and just like, what the fuck? It was horrible, mate. But it's, as I say it, like, even in a loss, you're still glad you've done it because it's a life lesson. It's something that the ordinary people didn't get experience.
A phone quarantine. How many people is phone quarantine on Sky Sports?
Exactly.
Against some little fucking hairball muscle bound thing. Before, yeah. Wouldn't recommend it, like, but fucking I've done it.
I was a big, strong fucking kid, anyhow.
Yeah, he was the beast. He was really, really strong. Like you say, like the best kid I fought pro. I would have to say him because he's my only loss, but I would love to fight him again when I'm myself, you know what I mean? Because you can't really assess someone's skill, power, etc.
When you're feeling that way.
When you're feeling that way.
But to be honest, mate,
in 2 weeks before, I was in Lands, no, 3 weeks before, I was in Lands. In my last sport, I sparred Paddy Donovan and his brother. Edward Donovan, and I'd done 8 threes, and I was fucking flying. I felt strong as an ox. I felt literally, I was ready to fight there. I was waking up 3 kilo over, so perfect. It's that 3 kilo over I could. And then next thing the past few weeks, I just went fucking just put a tits up. I could have overtrained out there. And then I went back to like this attitude, and then I was just run down and I got every illness scan. But it's one of them things. It's all about learning, you're training, peaking at the right time and all that.
Definitely, like as I see it, this knee where I would have got through that fight with Nathan Grayson if I hadn't lost that fight in South Africa, because after that fight in South Africa, I ended up getting Dean Kirk on his logos on there. I ended up getting him on, and he did his whole rehydration thing where I'd never rehydrated properly after, and it was just being fortunate. Like in the other fights, I put people away in the first round or early on, or I'd submitted them and he could.
Did you feel better?
The amount of damage I took in that fight there against him after already having a concussion from sparring 2 weeks out from that anyway that I carried into that fight. There's no way if I'd have been doing it my methods that I wouldn't have that, because the amount of damage I took was ridiculous amount.
It's mad how like these things is at them 1%, man, doesn't it?
That's it. That's it. You know what I mean? It really does matter. But as I say, it's all learning. If I had knocked that kid out or submitted him in South Africa that fight when I fought for that belt, I wouldn't have fucking knew to get that. I needed that. You know what I mean?
To get like their nutritionists
at home in front of me on. Family and everything.
I bet 2 days after your fight, you're sore like now, but all the grappling and the small gloves and that.
It's weird that I mean, obviously, always grappling's always brutal, but the wrestling aspect of it's where most of the injuries and it's the wrestling.
He made me pass like Northern Lads holiday, and you having a few drinks and you have a wrestle. Now after 2 minutes, I'm fucked. I'm like, that wrestling lock. I didn't like it. Me now the grappling, very good.
It's draft, but it's brutal. I mean, except for my last fight, me 3 fights prior to that, I took time off anyway after because of cuts. I fought Nathan Grayson, I had loads of stitches above me. I fought Lutando Beak where I had cuts under there. I fought 5 shit-ups. I had cuts on the top of me. I had off elbows.
Have you ever had like any operations out or like any bad thing from fights? No.
The one thing I've got is the joint separation in my shoulder. That injury off that 5 shit-ups, and then I came back and I was sparring in the gym where it was like grappling. It was like back mount stuff we're doing, like start on each other's backs and attacking for submissions, and some kid did like the spazziest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I was on his back and he like trying to stand up and try to do like a front flip with me on his back as if to land on me. But like all we're doing was just literally nosedived and just landed on my shoulder and just spatted my shoulder even more. Fucking bored. Like I think the 5 Jacobs one was, I can't remember which shoulder it was, but it gave it joint separation in my shoulder. And then after that, I think the other kid was, I think when that lad did that, I'm sure it was my other shoulder, because I remember when I was fighting Nathan Grayson, I couldn't even throw a right hand. So that's the only issues I've ever had, is being with shoulders.
Your shoulders.
I mean, didn't get it wrong. My fucking lugs are fucked forever, you know what I mean? Massive stupid
cauliflower lugs.
I can't even get earplugs in my lugs. You know what I mean? It's a fucking nightmare. But aside from that, I mean, I've been quite lucky. I mean, obviously back in the day of boxing, I've had loads of fucked hands, you know.
My hands are fucked, man.
Glass hands, me. I can't even shake hands. Someone if they squeeze my hand that way, it's not too bad. It's more fucked. Yeah,
you know what? Like, I never hurt my hands in fights. It must have been the small gloves and the wraps. No, the spawn though. I finished
your thumbs on.
My thumbs, like when I go for body shots. Horrible, man. My hands are fucked.
I remember I fought in the Golden Belt final at Everton Leisure Centre, right? Me back in the day in 2006. And I fought a kid from Ongar, ABC, and he's called Theodore Stellantis. And I remember I punched him, right, mate. I flung a shot at the end of the first round, and he kind of slipped. He slipped off. And my hand like just whistled just past, and I remember just the
your thumb. Yeah.
And I sat there after the first round. I said to Joe Purse, I was like, Joe, my arm is fucked. He said, it's not. Get out, you know. And I boxed on, it was fine. And honestly, that was one of the worst ones I've had for ages.
He's an old school coach, Johnny. Same as me, amateur coach Green Modified, man. Him, like now what he got me psyched up so many times in corners. He's a fucking now I knew I love him a bit, but now when I was boxing him, he was a bastard. He was a fucking remember, man. I won the English title. I came in, went box fucking shite there. It's like, I was won the English title, but box shite. And I was at the ABAs, the senior ABAs, 3 fights, 3 days. The first, the quarterfinals, I fought given the army called Luke Fisher, and I broke my nose. But I won the fight. So then I fought in the semi-finals against Jack Rafferty. Had a fucking war with a broken nose. And as well as a broken nose, I fractured my fucking wrist. I won that fight. So then in the final, I woke up, me had 2 black eyes, my nose was throbbing, my wrist was fucked, and I fought a kid called Harris Akbar in the final. And he was Team GB. He was the fucking creme de la creme. And I got beat fair and square, but the first round, I woke onto a jab, man. And my eyes started watering, man. I was fucking padded. And anyway, I got the friendly ABAs. I was happy with that. Like, I was buzzing, fucking. I gave me all. I got beat fair and square. And I was driving back, and it was just me and Graham in the van. And fucking, he didn't speak for 45 minutes. He didn't speak. I was scared to say something. And next you know, we're at a red light. He looked, he went, Lawsy, what the fuck happened back there? I went, Graham, I didn't know, you know. I was concussed a bit, so I haven't a clue. I'm sorry.
It's fucking mad, and it's brutal as well, you know. It's like, it's mint when you win and when you lose. Like, obviously it's the nature of the game, you know. You have, it's a fight, so whether you win or lose, they're sharing that footage. When you lose, you watch. I remember I fucking fought everyone junior beer finals. I boxed everyone all the way through, you know. I stuck to Maori kids and that, and did really well, you know. I beat some good kids. I went on to box for England and stuff.
Why did you go on MMA? After I got boxing shadow?
It was mate, it was a weird one, you know, because boxing for me was my life. Like, as I say, like, I lost the junior ABU final in 2007, and after I won the gold medal 2006, lost the junior ABU final in 2007. I'd only lost one fight before losing. I was 9-0, lost against the guy, my 10th fight, which I was, mate, I fought me, mate. I didn't tackle like a fight. I wasn't even in the gym. Fought, lost, beat the kid twice after that. Went through, got junior ABU final, boxed John McDonough, good kid from Jim to Gill, Jim Dale Youth.
Good Jim, Matt.
The fight finished, and I was fucking gutted. I cried my eyes out for fucking ages. I killed this for a long time, because that was what I set my sights on. You know, I'm going to do that, and then getting the 4 Nations and everything was like geared up for that. And I'm still now. I remember watching that fight, but I still think I could have won that fight. Just took it like a boxing match, went in a point scoring match, got behind a bit on the points after the first round, just getting picked off. He was a big long range.
I fucking hate that point scoring system, me.
And I just had to go after him. Second round, I've gone after him, and then that's when he was just on the back foot.
There's point. So I fucking hate that point scoring system, me. Like,
and they shared a fucking thingy after. There was like a highlight reel. I looked on YouTube now, and I still kind of find it. There's like one, but it's like a condensed version. You get Jazza Dickens, Callum Smith, everyone else was in the final. Like, yeah, you know, and I was in the. What's he called? O'Sullivan. He was from there, Jim, and all the.
Spike O'Sullivan. I was going to say Ronnie O'Sullivan there, he's
No, it was. I think it was called Paul. He was from Liverpool. He was in the same weight class as me, but the had this 3 class. He was the one prior. There's some good kids in. Anyway, I lost that fight, and I remember this. They had like a reel of it, like a thing after, and it's like. All this, I'd start off like Amir Khan won this, someone else won this, and blah blah blah. This is a prestigious thing. On the highlights, it was just me getting absolutely kicked off for a right now. Massive right snap me on the video.
I hate them boxers and the punch scoring system.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I fought Josh Kelly in the finals of the junior years, the regionals. And after the first round, I was like fucking 19 pounds down. But then by the end of the fight, I got beat 19-15, so I pulled it back. But the first round, I was like punching fresh air. I was getting hook split left, right, and centre. I was steaming in, boom, boom. Where's he? Billy's there. I'm running, hook split again. Fuck, where's he?
I remember once when watching sorry, I answer your question first about the gone MMA from that. It was weird. I had me fights, then it was always after that. I lost the junior final, and I had a bit of time off, and I came back, did well in the boys' clubs, missed weight in the semi-finals, so we kicked it out. I beat Ryan Mulcahy in the junior years, and then he went out to box for England. And then I beat Ryan Mulcahy in the boys' clubs, and he went out to box for England. I beat Sean Khan in the boys' clubs, he went out to box for England.
Politics in it, man.
It's mad.
It's if your face fits.
And then being an North-East fighter, you know yourself, we get loads less opportunity than
down London.
Manchester, it's mad. But
why do you think that? I reckon because them's taught the talk down London, and I like the.
It's always been that way. You know, you didn't get anywhere near as many opportunities.
If you didn't let course, you get anywhere
basically. You've got to be a fucking arse again. It's always been that way in the North.
I think people like us who just like say it how it is. We're not really like that fucking like that persona to like box in England and all that because fucking them like the proper people. Yeah, yes. You know what I mean? Like robots, aren't they?
We just fucking mad kids, you know what I mean?
Aye. Lad from the streets just having a pack at it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But so what it was I'd had I went senior. I fought a lad from Wrexham, Michael McCarthy, my first senior fight. He'd done all sorts. I remember Louis Sheriff was saying, I've been looking at his fucking medical card earlier. It was like, 111, stop, title, 111, stop, title, all the way through. And he's like, he's fucking by all accounts, he's a really fucking good kid. Fought in my first senior fight, had a war room, I was fucking exhausted. I was like half-assed training at the time. No, I was just kind of fell out of love with the politics and all that's going on, all the shit in the sidelines. I was kind of just, and I won, and it was the first fight in my life I'd ever had points took off. I was fucking knackered for holding and stuff like that. We nearly had a fight after the fight finished, you know, and then frustrated. Every time I was thinking shot, man, it was, and I couldn't even see his like lateral movement. It was just snip, bang, body shot. And I remember being like, what the fuck? I didn't even see him move there. I was like, so I just had to just a street fight, just slappy shots around the side of his head, pushing him, just whatever I could to try and get ahead. And I ended up winning like a really close fight. And then I boxed Jeff Saunders after that on his.
Good kid, him.
Jeff's good. Boxed him on his home show, same thing. I was smoking fucking cigarettes at the time, you know what I mean? Man, just a daft kid now, just went there to have a scrap, you know. I knew Jeff was good. He boxed fucking Josh Gibson Ryan. I knew he was going to have a squad with him on the England squads and all that kind of shit, you know. Like, we did a thing at East Durham. This was well before I fought him. We did it, come up with one of them training days. So
when you all spawn or
and I remember like fucking sparring there, and they were saying to us before that, they were like saying all this shit about, right, when you were here, we're looking to come to see you skill. We didn't want to see any wars.
Fucking knee bar.
But all they just want to see tennis. I got in full street Jeff Saunders.
Wallop.
Oh my god, what the fuck? He's trying to tap me. You know, I had a hard spar there, so that was all I knew. I'd seen him fight loads, but I never seen he fought Paul Archer. That's what I knew, you know. And I fought him there, and it was like, I remember walking him down. I hit him with a lovely left hook, but it was like, I was fucked. I was just knee fitness, but I was just walking down. He's just points going, picking this off, and I ended up getting points took off there as well. The last two fights in my boxing career, and that for me then was like, because I wasn't a scrapper, I was a boxer. I like a time technical fighting. I mean, didn't get us wrong, for being a long rangey kid, I was in the pot. Technical. Yes. That's why, you know, like fighter, like I'm not a brawler. I like to fight in the pot, but nice technical boxing, where it's like the last two fights I'm getting punched off. I'm like, that's not me, you know, that's not the way I'm fighting it. It was just, I knew that I wasn't 100% in it, and in sports like boxing and MMA, if you're not 100% in
just them days, and
that's what I knew for myself, so I stopped doing it, you know, and I took myself out of the situation. But I always wanted to train, I always wanted to stay fit. The Olympian, Tony Jeffrey's dad's gym, he opened a boxing gym, and basically I was going there just to keep fit.
Oh, Phil?
I Phil opened the gym there. He had a couple of kids boxing from there. And I was just training there to keep fit, you know. And he wanted to get his medical card and all that. And I was like, nah, I didn't. I'm not. I haven't left Sunderland to box elsewhere. I've left Sunderland not to box. I'm just here to kind of train. And I was training there, and there was a little. Honestly, mate, it was knee bigger than this, and I've got on straight from the back room. It was about the same amount of distance, but a little bit wider than this room. And that had it all matted out. And Fisher, my coach now, started an MMA club in there, and it was a tiny little room, mate. And I'd see them going into grapple, and I was watching because I knew what MMA was. I didn't know anywhere existed today. But me and my dad used to watch fights, you know, Chuck Liddell and the fucking so I was like,
that was my era fight. Chuck Liddell and all that. I fucking loved them.
I would watch them with me dad. I was like fucking watching the lads going in. And honestly, it was like the biggest gym ever of like nerds. There was like pharmacy Dave there. It was like a pharmacist. There was like, they were just all nerds, you know, and so I went there.
It's mental how all these nerds are hard as fucking jiu-jitsu, aren't they?
So I was like, I want to fucking beat these guys, right? So I went one night, and mate, as I say, you know, coming from boxing at a class level, fighting some Antonio Cunahan, man, he fought everyone as an amateur. He was fucking sick. I fought him on his home show in Birmingham. He was still smoking the fucking room and that, man. You know, I've just fought some really fucking good kids in there. From that to then gone into there and not knowing a thing and getting pieced up by everyone, I was like, I think it's either going to make you or break. People either look at that and be like,
you loved it,
ego shock, whereas for me, I was like, I need to learn this shit because I'm fucking going in there with a mindset of being a fighter and knowing what I've done in the past and that, and then gone there and not knowing a thing. I was like, I need a fucking day.
Like a fresh sport
so it's fresh thing, and that's how I like. Trying to problem solve, you know, like that's what fighting is for me. It's a puzzle, and especially MMA, you know, like you think in my head, like this guy's a grappler, this guy's
so many combats in it. It's not just one thing.
It's a mad puzzle, and you use what you can do well to try and like negate their attributes, and just work it from that. So that's why I fell in love with it so much, and that's why I ended up fighting as long as I have in it. It's just a puzzle. The same as boxing. At the start, you fight a boxer, and if you're a brawler, there's all sorts of different
styles.
Against different styles, and you fight. And that was it, mate. And I started training from there, and then Fisher was just like, oh, well, we'll try and get your style is molded in a way that you can kind of fight your kind of style, use your attributes, like will not change too much, just get it ready for MMA. Like my style boxing, super side on, when I went super side on in MMA, you get that leg boot. Wrestling becomes more more of a threat, you know what I mean? So Marshall closing my style off, get me front knee out, try to check kicks, just trying to make little changes to get us to do that, and I loved it. And got my first fight lined up and fought a good, tough, just fucking toughest human being alive, my first fight, and had a fucking war, and that was it. From then, it was electric.
Just fell in love with it.
I used to have these mad, mental battles all the time when we sell, I would think, I would get, I'll have a fight, I'll get thingy, and it was like a constant thing of the whole time, I'd be by myself, I'd be in the house, and it would be coming up, and I'd be like, it's like I can't do this, and I would sit there and be like, I can't believe I'm gonna have a fucking fight. In my head, I'd be like, that last one scared us that much. What am I doing? I've signed. What am I doing? And then I do it, and every time I do it, I'd be like,
it's different. I'd be mad in the one.
Another one, and it would be all sorts of different things, and there's always different little mind fucks all the way along, change of opponent or this and that, and it's just a
big emotional roller coaster, isn't it?
And that's what people didn't see, the stress of it, not just the fact of all this other stuff, it's the mental battle you have with yourself.
Oh, definitely. You versus you, isn't it?
You get to the gym, you can fucking spar, whatever, the best fucking kids about, you can have a mid spar and beat some amazing kids, and then you can go one day, spar someone who...
A novice and get punched all over.
And then it's a mental battle.
I'm fucking crazy.
I'm about to fight this fucking kid who's going in to kill me.
Definitely.
And I've got to... And I'm fighting this in the gym, and then you have...
And you're like, I don't know, I like to think myself, if I perform like I did in that gym, I'm getting knocked out similar as that. You've got just...
It's like, I'm not fucking scared of getting hurt. Look at what we do. We're fighting, so obviously not scared of getting hurt.
But day by day, it's a different battle, isn't it? It's crazy.
Of I get in there. It's not so much the threat of I'm going to get in there and get hurt. Oh, a big deal. You know what I mean? We're fucking getting hurt every day.
It's not performing.
It's not performing
the way you can be.
Who already thinks
to judge you.
That's the fucking nervous thing. Or if you lose a fight after that, that's because I lost about losing. I lost 6 fights boxing. I've lost 3 fights. Is it 3? I've lost. Well, it should be 2, but I've lost 3 fights pro now.
How different would it be the boxing and MMA game if social media didn't exist?
Oh, mate, it would be
different. It'd be fucking mint.
Exactly, and then at the same time, people will be getting paid fucking peanuts as well. So
it's a catch. With me, it wasn't for me being the outgoing guy I am and send the amount of tickets through social media, I wouldn't have got the chances that I would have in boxing. So like you say, it's a catch-22. But I think most people perform and do the way and react the way they do is because of social media, because they can't handle it.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people can't handle it. I take it for what it is. And there's loads of bullshit as the amount of message you get off social media, about 5% be true. The other 95 is just fucking bollocks, you know what I mean?
It's definitely.
But you've got to use it for what's good for, and that's trying to get yourself out there, trying to
promote yourself
for free, which is the biggest platform, definitely. Social media, on it.
I mean, same for me, fucking there's no way I would have got the opportunities I have if it hadn't been for that. Same thing, messaging, calling guys out, asking for good fights and stuff like that, and it's came around really well for us, you know what I mean? But another thing about social media was what I watched of you a long time ago, and I love this, mate, because I think out like this is fucking mint, especially I've put myself in that situation of what you must have been feeling, when you travel to different gyms and stuff. Well, when you were on holiday, I can't remember where it was, when you were drinking the shots of tequila.
In the gym. Fucking.
Tell people about that. That's fucking shit, you know what I mean?
I was in fucking Mexico, and my dad, every holiday, my dad used to always take us to different gyms. Wherever we went, where it was fucking Vegas, Mexico, Bahamas, the Dominican Republic, anywhere to go on holiday, he found your gym. And I went there, I either sparred or I fought. And he went, all these experiences, it'll come in handy for years to come when you find these hostile environments and you find these hostile arenas and all that. So anyway, we're in Mexico and we got Paddy with his weight hive called Mardo. And now I'm friends with him. It was Mardo. One was called Mardo, one was called Solace. And we left the resort and we went their house for tacos and all that. There's proper the rough of the rough, right? And we're talking eating tacos and they're both boxing fans. And I says, Mardo, I want to fight. He says, no problem. He says, I'll take you to my gym on Wednesday or whatever. I sound no problem. There's me thinking he's talking shite. Or the kids are going to be fucking pony. So the morning the fight, on holiday, all inclusive, few shots of tequila. Says, Dad, I'm ready for a fight. I'm half cut, yeah. I get a big cigar in my mouth, I do. And I walked to this fucking gym. I walked in, this stinking gym, red hot. I walked in, there's loads of Mexicans hitting the bag, but they all look like proper handfuls. I was like, oh yeah, your heart's got no, your ass has got like this. I think, bro, I'm shooting myself, yeah. And I sparred a kid called Valdez, and he was a pro at the time. And he had like 3 fights, 3 wins, 3 knockouts. And I stopped him, and I hit him with overhand, and he just turned away. I was like, get on then, fucking buzzing. But his brother was there, and his brother was better. So after I stopped him, the coach went, oh, he wants to spar you. His brother only wanted to fucking kill us. I looked at him, his brother was standing us after I've just stopped his big brother. And I came in, and I had an absolute war with him. It was mental. And then that night, I was fucking sitting back, having a few rooms with me dad, having a nice steak. Think myself, what the fuck happened to Lord? Having a few tequila shots, gonna have a fight, come back to the hotel. It's just a proper mad experience.
It was fucking awesome. I remember watching the video. I'm sure on the video you have a shot on the video.
I did, aye.
Funny as fuck, man. Honestly, like that. That to me, I don't know watching that thing. I fucking
had two tequila shots and went sparred. But now what? I felt midnight sparring in that. I just didn't care. I was like, fuck it, let's go. Big overhand, big uppercuts.
As I say, fucking class. Like I'll see if I can link that to some of your story or get that and show people that.
I fought an hour, man. I fought in Thailand when I was pissed. I passed one of them rings, and if you fight and win, you get a free bucket of peeve. I walked past in there, I seen the ring, so I saw a sharp boxing as you did with the balls and that. And the Thai bloke Pony went, I want you. I was like, me? You went, I want you. 2 minutes, let me drink, took me top off, went in the ring and had a fight, man. I fought in the Bahamas. Like everywhere I go, I just find a gym with me dad and just have a fight. It's fucking it's mint. It's lethal, like, it's fucking mint crack.
It's lifestyle.
Aye, fucking mint. Aye.
I mean, when I obviously I think about fights and stuff like that, and like, to me that's fucking like rock star life, you know. I think like what a fucking gadget.
Because one day when I'm 33, I'm gonna be retired or whatever, right? And I'm not gonna be doing this shit. So up until then, I'm just gonna do what I want.
Like I think in my head, I'm thinking like, do other people see this and think of that the same way I see? Because for me, that personally, I think it's fucking unreal. I think when I'm talking about fights and stuff like that, I think these people, they're probably just thinking off with it. You know, like that's.
But for me, that's a holiday to me. That's a mint holiday. Gone there, a few shots, a nice burger, gonna have a fight. Just fuck it, mint crack, mint crack.
It is. I love it. Like it's fucking special. As I was saying earlier, where you fucking. Obviously, the way Charlton's last fight went, it's arguably a fucking good fight to get back on there.
Definitely,
that rematch.
Definitely.
That would be perfect. You know, like as you see, you get level playing field and
definitely.
Because obviously his last fight went the way it did. It was a great fight.
I was actually surprised how fucking well Marco boxed. To be honest, now, but I was seeing the people. I took the Charlton fight. And there was no footage of Charlton, so I didn't know what to expect. He could have been the short, stocky pansy who couldn't punch. He could be the short, stocky beast. Like, I didn't know what to expect. And with them small gloves, after I got buzzed, like, I say it's fight or flight, and he came out on top, where after that fight, Charlton then Marku had a full camp, knowing he was a puncher. So I think he executed his game plan perfect. Box and move, know what I mean? But,
I thought
fair play,
it was a really good fight.
Fair play, it was, aye.
But Marco, I mean, I was looking at his credentials. He's had fucking loads of
Hard.
fights.
Hard cunt,
He's
isn't he?
a hard cunt. He's a hard cunt, and he's a entertaining dude. He looks like he can punch a bit as well, you know.
Any fighting background? He's an MMA, Thai, everything.
It's interesting, like, but I would love to see that fight again with you and Charlton. Like, it was,
definitely.
Interesting one. I mean, he looks like a big juicy guy. You know
he does, doesn't he? And apparently he's never lifted weight in his life.
Well, I mean, didn't get his wrong, and there's the anomalies.
It could be genetics, but I make fucking hell.
I mean, you didn't see. I mean, not being thingy here, but a lot of the people from other countries. I mean, sometimes you see these like African guys who's genetically just
freaks.
I've never seen so many white guys that kind of stature, you know, especially like who see that.
Not that stature.
I mean, he is actually muscled bound.
I've done S&C for twice a week for the past 5 years. I look like that fucking cactus there.
I'm a fucking ET, buddy.
It's fucking mental in the man. Mental.
That doesn't happen for me, no matter what I eat or what I do.
What's your body shape? Just
when I fight more, like I think is it called a fucking ectomorph or something like that? Like a tall, lean. I'm kind of a little bit more
stamper
muscular
of 61 kilo,
like lurchy backs, one of them big long.
I've got big sticking set.
One of them kind of stamps, but more so now. I mean, I'm a bit more muscular now. I've got more muscle on my chest, and my shoulders and stuff.
What do you weigh now?
85 kilos.
85 kilos.
85.
So just say if you were to fight now, how long could it take to make 61 like comfortable?
Oh, I don't think I've ever made it comfortable.
Not comfortable, but like fucking.
To not this weight. I mean, last time I was about 6 weeks out, and I think I was like 78-ish, just our last time, 6 weeks
fucking
out.
Hell, man.
I mean, worst case scenario, if I had to in 8 weeks, that would matter.
Could you?
Could I? But I would.
How many calories would you be on a day then?
Oh, like, I mean, I remember most of my camp last time was like less than 1,000, I think.
No way, man.
How? Horrible. That's what I mean.
They even have a shite. Did you have a shit?
That's what I mean. That's a side thing. You see that
man.
People's coming from other places, or I'm going places to spar, and instead of me having a camp where I'm learning and getting better and preparing for a fight, it's all about weight. So I'm going to the gym and I'm sparring, I'm getting my face punched in, I'm getting rocked left, right, and centre. I'm grappling, I'm getting ground out by everyone. I've got the energy to get up, and everything's a fucking
like that.
That's what the rang is. And they were like, "We've got your fight," because they've been fancy 3 times prior to that. They're like, "We've got your fight, it's back on." Italy, 6 weeks time. And I was like, I want to have to chop my fucking legs off, man. Like, I need more time. And then it was a nightmare, to be honest. But I suppose
on my bucket list now, I was one that I've told people like, fuck now. Once I finish on boxing, I would love to have an MMA fight, a Thai fight, and a BKB fight. Just say I've done it.
That's it.
I was 13, 14, and my dad used to take us to a place called The Factory. I think Pete Irvin used to coach and all that.
Yeah.
I trained there for about a year. I went to Northern Kings for about a year. I didn't know the Thai and all that. And I was ready for my first in that club. But then I had a choose between that or boxing because the styles were different and all that. And I chose boxing. But I would love to have like an MMA fight, a Thai fight. Obviously not high level, but just say I've done it. Now them small gloves and just have if they fucking mint.
I'll help you. Like, I'll come and do training with you and grapple and stuff. 100%, I'll be sick. I'll be fun, you know.
MMA and my arsenal of attack. I've got a good toe peg, cracking hands, and a naughty headlock.
I definitely think you should do that. And even people who've never had any fight, I think the majority of people in the world, or anybody who is physically able to do it, should
do it. Definitely,
at least one fight.
Should I?
Like, I think people who judge fights, you know, you get these judges. I think judges should have to have, or at least have to have had fights.
Coaches should have fights, because I'm going to coach up at you and say dig deep. When they have to know what it feels like to dig deep, you know what I mean?
Definitely. I mean, there's certain things that in coach, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty like that, I think you have to have experienced it yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
What someone can give, you know what I mean?
You want a cigar, man, for us, man? Look at us, stop, let's spark it up.
Get it.
Oh, I don't like,
I should have, I'll get it in.
The layer number. Oh, I got one, man. Shit, get up. Oh, lovely.
That's the one. Like, no, normally it's
I was singing in.
I normally I'm sat here with a big fat biff, maybe I didn't like put that anywhere near you with the box.
Oh, hi, nah, that it don't even cardboard in it.
That's fine. I mean, the fucking biff for me, normally the weed is probably fucking against your
what's the crack with your restrictions like that? Can you take it or not?
Mate, it's still fucking dark ages MMA, man. It's crazy, man. I mean, this is the side that people don't see. Most of the organisations don't even fucking test for steroids, man.
Do they not?
Nah, I mean, didn't get us wrong. Some of them do. The UFC's got a high testing pool. You know, this didn't get us wrong. There's still definitely guys in the UFC who juice. You know, they've obviously got good cycles or got good ways of avoiding USADA for however long. You know, John Jones hid under the cage when they come to fucking test him. You know what I mean, for fucking 12 hours or whatever it was. There's mad shit, but eventually he got caught. But I mean, the UFC's got a decent testing pool. But aside from that, man, like, I mean, fucking Bellator. I mean, I've never been tested by Bellator. I'm clean, but Bellator doesn't test. I mean, it might be one fighter from every card or something like that, or one fighter every now and again. Other shows all over the world. Some of them don't even.
Crazy.
It's crazy, mate. As I see it.
My 60 boxing fight. I've never been tested once.
That's what I mean.
My 10 professional fights. I haven't been tested. For all them, no. I could have been full of growth hormone, full of cocaine the day before. I wasn't. But I'm saying, but it's mental.
It's mad. It's mad.
But if that was the case, I could have been full of juice and wrecking kids.
It's recovering like
it's mental
on the night, and then
crazy
back in the gym.
Crazy.
That's it, mate. It's a mad thing, and as I
seen a tweet of that Gavin the Rock Rees. He was Commonwealth champion, world champion, and he says in his 50 pro fights, he's never been tested once.
It's
fucking mental.
It's mad. I mean, fucking. It's a fucking mad thing. I mean, loads of people. I mean, like, mate, look at half of these Russian organisations.
Oh, these Russians, man.
You see some of the kids, man. I remember, I'll not see his name. I'm not fucking thingy, but I remember about 4 years ago, I looked at a kid who was meant to be 21-year-old, mate, and it looked like he'd been made in a fucking
factory.
Honestly, mate, like, honest to God, like, muscles on muscles, like, fucking Charlton V2, you know, like
Charlton 2.0.
Just fucking shredded, but like,
was not them Russians that can't go in the Olympics anymore or something daft like that?
If you got Icarus, like Icarus, it's mad. Like, they were breaking into the labs and changing the
naughty, man, innit?
Get them away with juicing and that, man.
That's manslaughter, that, man, innit?
It's crazy, man. I mean, as I say, like, the amount of people who get fucked up from fighting, man, and it's like I heard you mention this is an interesting take, mate. Right, I heard this before. I don't know what your take on it is, but obviously MMA is still a relatively new sport in terms of how long it's been about compared to boxing. It's been there centuries. Basically, MMA is still a young sport. It's still growing, and people are still learning about the effects later on in life of what can come from MMA. Obviously, CTE is a massive thing, all the brain damage and stuff like that. You see, like Spencer Fisher and people like that who's got real issues right now. But boxing, it's been around for that much longer. There's already so many more testing. But basically, a thing that people haven't really thought of yet is the reason they're seeing like boxing can be so much worse long term on the mind, on the brain essentially, is because, you know, in an MMA fight, if you get dropped in an MMA fight.
You get elbow to fist, you get stopped.
Whereas in boxing, you get dropped, you get a count. So that's giving your brain enough time so you can get your senses back, but you continue.
Constant punishment.
Still getting damage to that already concussed brain. So it's an addition. So whereas you drop bad in an MMA fight, 9 times out of 10 you either get submitted or you get TKO'd because you're still.
I get you.
You have that break in play. You get the count, so you get the senses back, and then you just adding more damage to that concussed brain. I thought
if I got that shot took of Charlie and Fawn's gloves on, I'll probably be kept until next week. Whereas I got up, I get caught again. I get up. Know what I mean? Yeah. So it's more punishment because the gloves are a bit bigger as well. That's what they say. Spawn takes out of you because your spawn's even worse. You get a head guard plus 16s.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
Concussion, 3 years off your life. Speaking backward, Parkinson's.
That's what I've been seeing people age. Is like, I think it's essential if you're a novice, or if you're a new guy who hasn't had many fights, I feel like you need the heavy sparring to learn what it's going to feel like in the fight, to get used to that pace, to get used to throwing your body around that way with the intention and taking the damage with the nerves to get you over that. So when you get in the fight, you felt it. But when you're experienced as we are, I don't think the bars in the gym are essential.
It's not.
On the clock. And the more miles you get on the clock in the gym, the less you're going to have in your fights actually.
Well,
You know?
no, like you say, in our position, you either hard or you're not hard. No one people say, oh, you need to harden yourself. Like, you can't teach balls. You can't teach balls. Yeah. But if I haven't got balls by the time I'm 26, I'm never going to have them. You know what I mean? So I've always got a big pair of balls. I'm also going to have power. I'm also going to be fit. So what can get me a better fighter, which is my technique, my timing, and my boxing ability. Yeah. So I think loads of tech sparring, loads of like drill sparring, loads of drills in the bags, reaction stuff will suit me better rather than just going and having a walk. Know what I mean? Definitely.
Being fucking conquest.
Definitely. But I think first start, like you say, first starting off, test the kid to see if he has got balls. Yeah. Then once you've got a kid, Reece, he's had 15 amateur fights. Right. He's got a big set of plums. Right. He's game. He's fit. Come here. Now I'll take you and we'll mold you from that. Know what I mean?
Definitely, mate. Definitely. If you could have one fight, so see, if you have a fight now, you do another fight or get a few more good wins or whatever. If you could pick an opponent who would be your ideal person to fight, no matter what level they're at or stature or weight or whatever, who would it be? Who would you pick to fight if you could?
I could, fool.
Just style, like not calling anybody out, just saying like for your style, who would be a fun fight for you to test yourself, or who would you enjoy fighting, or what would bring the best out in you? Who would you fight?
I would love to fight, right, some tall, skinny, cocky American who's game, where I can just sit on his chest and rip the body, rip the head, and have a good tear up with him. Know what I mean? Because I would hear a fight like a Pokemon Aji who just boxing. But no, some of them Americans who are like game, tall, skinny for the weight, but tough as fuck.
Trying to think of, so would that be 146?
147, but I am going to try and get 67, I think, but I am going to try and get down to 140.
So 64 is that
64, because like making 147, I died in a struggle, but I never really struggle. Like 3 days out, I was still having big bowls of porridge and carbs, you know what I mean?
So in that sense, have you got a nutritionist on board, or have you got someone who helps you eat?
Yes, I know. Well, I just have he's called Pete, and he's called Pete Nutrition on Instagram and all that, and he does like all these fairs and all that, and I've been with him, but I'm feeling good, you know, like, because normally I make weight and there's no science behind it. I make weight by overtraining. Yeah. Know what I mean? Like, literally, I was saying to her, right, I'm going to go vegan for 3 weeks. I'll just go vegan. I'll try and lose a bit of muscle. No science. I would just eat whatever, as long as it's vegan. I would overtrain. I would make weight. So next thing you know, I'm sitting on the scales. I'm in good shape. I make weight. Someone serious, how do you make weight? I haven't a fucking clue how I made weight. But now he's sending us like calorie targets hit a day, so it's energy for yourself. So like it's a science behind it.
That's what I'm trying to cater mine around. It would be like, because obviously that last one were being short at time and more to cut. I knew I had football to eat all day. So what it would be was I would eat
to fuel the session.
I'd be a zombie, then I'd eat, and then I'd have an half-decent session. It was fucking shit. I mean, mate, honestly, the time before that when I fought Nathan Grayson, that was like one of the fucking worst like beatings I've took in a fight, essentially. The most damage I've took in. Before that, the night before that, I mean, I remember Thursday morning, I was 68.9 kilo on the morning, so 69k, and I had to be 61.2 the next day. And that was horrendous, you know. I remember after doing loads of baths, loads of hot baths, loads of wraps, lying there just fucked. Gets out, walks to the lift. The lift guns past our floor, so I was just like, I can't fucking stand waiting for this fucking hit. Everything's tunnel vision, like black circles around there, like proper bad. I'm fucked. Just walked in the room, stood behind Nathan in the queue, the lad I was fighting, and he just looked fucking terrified, just shredded, just looked full of energy. Didn't look like he was just lean, shredded, really like lean muscle mass. Just I knew what kind of fight it was going to be. I knew what kind of style he brought to the table as well. So it was like, fucking hell, like I've got to be working there for a conquest anyway a couple of weeks ago, spawn. Just horrendous, man. But as I say, like, just getting nutritionists on board. Like,
so after you make weight, what would you normally eat?
So now when I've got Dean on, after he gives us like, I get these 3 drinks that like tailored
Loads
to
of salt.
whatever I've got in. Because before, like when I was doing it my own way, I would just pile salt in, diurolites, drink this, and then I'd shit my pants. I would literally go shit my pants.
I'm the same.
And I'd lose the lot, and then I'd be thinking, oh well, I've drank it, I'm fine. And then I'd fight,
same. Fucked.
you know? Like when I fought that people for 5 rounds, it was like that. And when I fought Grayson, it was different. You know, I drank that, and all day I was like, normally by now I've shit myself, whatever. All day just held the lot. Normally in the other fights where I was having all the salt, it was weird. I mean, muscles wouldn't fill back up. It would go to different places. Then when I fought Grayson, everything, all the water went back to the right places. So I was like, you know what? Like I actually, because for me, I'd be shredded, super fucking shredded on the scales. I'd rehydrate, and in my fights, I'd a little bit chubby and a bit pudgy.
Yeah, man, how you said that?
But then
the same happened to me.
And after that, the water was going back to the right place. So I was getting in, I was shredded, and I was like, the water's
literally fucking
hitting the right spots. Whereas when I was doing it was just gone. Yeah,
mental, like fucking.
After the fight,
I mental. 3 weeks ago for my last fight, man, I took a picture like this. I looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then I got food poisoning. I couldn't eat. I couldn't build back up. And then on fight day, I was walking out. I looked like a skinny fat kid. Like where's all my muscle went? And then I went home. I recovered. And then 2 weeks after, once I started getting the carbs in this, I ballooned back up and I looked fucking mint. I was like, yeah, what a time to get back. You know what I mean? But like that, people saying to me, yeah, your body can be taking like at least an hour of water. Whereas if you rain, the first thing you do, you get 3 hours.
Fuck yourself.
But it's a science, it's mental.
He gives us set times for each drink. He said, you need an hour for this. Like, it's got so much potassium in, so much other stuff in, so much electrolytes. I drink that and chill, drink that, and it's like, it's mad. It's like, whereas before, you know, when I was first doing it myself, you know what I would do? I would eat baby food. I'd eat baby food, and then I'd have water, and then I'd have Diorolites and all this kind of shit, because we were just stabbing in the door. We didn't have any science. We were just trial and error. And unfortunately for me, I had to get in a fight and get smashed.
To realise that
5-minute rounds for a world title in front of fucking everyone, to know that we can't keep doing it this way. I'm gonna have to try something new, you know, and test it.
My way was like, I was get weighed in, and after I got weighed in, I necked the litre of coconut water, just necked it straight off. And then,
did you ever get my belly off the coconut water?
Nah, never. I would get weighed in, neck a litre of coconut water, and then I would crack loads of pink salt in about 5 liters of water. And I would just drink loads, and then that day I would eat as many carbs until I'm going to bed with the food baby. And I'd wake up, have a small brekkie, and then just fight.
On fight day, do you know when you wake up in the morning, do you do any training or not?
No, I didn't. But but then I see fighters like, no, after they get weighed in, they shadow box in the night time. But I didn't know, even on tough spawn days, I try and reserve myself all day and then spar. But I think sometimes that can be worse, can't it?
I was always like, fuck that, save as much energy as for the fight.
Yeah.
Me personally, my last however many pro fights I can think of, because I've had such a severe weight cut, I didn't want to get into the fight and have their muscles firing for the first time in there. So
yes,
we'll do 3 short rounds. It's just say it might be because your rounds will be 3
minutes.
3-minute rounds. So for us, our rounds are 5 minutes. So we do like 2-minute rounds on the pad. So I think 3 dudes. Just first one's million, you're fucking horrible. Second one, you're a bit better. It's gassy, but third one, you start getting shot. Then we do a little bit of technique drilling, a little bit of fight specifics for whoever I'm fighting. And do kicks, little loose in the hips up and stuff like that. And then I always feel like that after that, I'll then chill out. I'll go back to bed. I'll drink some more water. I'll have some BCAs. I'll have some bits and bobs of fruit and just chill out, you know. And I feel like that for me personally, when I've done that myself, is by the time I then get into the fight, when I get warmed up for my fight, everything's already kind of, you know, you've already lost that kind of like heavy legs or the tight muscles in your
body's working again.
I'm already ready to warm up then with the heavy workout, and then I'm not feeling that. Fighting, I'm loose, so I feel like it's helped me. I mean, it's each to their own.
It's all about finding the balance of not overeating, not overhydrating, not like over resting, where you're resting your belly's just full of food, and then it comes to fight day, and your body hasn't even had the opportunity to start digesting the food. It's just finding that right balance in it, like with everything.
I mean, I like that one in there. Like we did so much, because I talked about this last time, and it was like, we got told when I was fighting for that belt in South Africa that there was a water shortage, so there was no hot baths and no saunas. So I had to just basically train the weight off or come out on weight. And obviously I'm fucking 6 foot. I kind of fight that bantamweight without a hot bath. You know what I mean? So we worked the weight off all the sweatsuit on, fucking killing myself, and you didn't get that back. It didn't matter how much you put the carbs in a night, you're not getting that back. You know, just got fucking smashed, and that's another side people didn't see. You know, people see all this shit about this, but it's like it's a fucking fight, mate. How can happen if you get in there and you're not feeling 100%? You know yourself what it's like.
MMA's got a lot to do with weight as well, where you can't cut more weight because you can grab them and you can use your weight against them. Can't you know that?
If I was to ever box again, if someone said to me,
if you box.
If I was to box,
what would you fight at?
I would probably, I would talk day before weigh in here.
Day before weigh in?
Probably it would probably be 67 in max.
147. 147, right.
Without taking water off my body.
You're even bigger 147?
That's what I'm saying.
Are you 6 foot?
So if I can featherweight now, if I fight in MMA, if I get a good contract elsewhere, I'll fight at 146.
If you can make 140 at boxing, man,
I'm at 140.
You could just walk people on them big long pins.
I could make 140 and I wouldn't even really have to cut much water.
Make 140 and fuck our regular charting first.
I was watching his last one. I remember sitting there when he did the face to face and we were talking to each other.
Just two stocky specimens, aren't there?
Specimen these ones.
Like, hold on, let's do them. What's in there?
His arms are fucking like that, man.
Fucking metal.
It's fucking mad, man. Do you think when you finish fighting, do you think you'll get into coaching?
I think I'll always be part of boxing there. I love boxing. I love training. You know, even on holiday, I love getting up and just smashing gym for an hour, and then for the rest of the day, I can do what I want. I can hammer the all-inclusive buffet. I can train, but I just I just feel better once I've trained, and I love training. Even now, I love going like I pop and see. There's a local gym, mine is Job's gym, and there's a few pros training. I just love seeing people grinding from the area and like improving and getting a bit success. I love it, me. And I would love to like fucking manage fighters and try and like show them how to go on social media. Know that side, because there's so many good kids out there
who didn't get that opportunity,
who don't get exposure because they don't know how to put us out there, know what I mean?
Definitely. And I feel like there's loads and loads of fucking slinky management agencies.
It is
promise people the world.
Slinks.
And then fuck people out. And it's like, I would love to do it properly and actually invest in something and try and give them a good path and a good opportunity.
I would love to get like a fucking my own pro show one in the Northeast where I'm making out from it, but it just gives the chance the local lads to fight on the show in front of the local lads. Know what I mean?
I mean, it's been a bit different the last couple of years because there've been was it the JD shows or whatever that's been and getting more kids on. But before that, it was from what I know, was just Jaffa's show. You know what I mean? You've got to sell however many tickets before you got a penny.
But all these promotions are slingy. But once I've got to say with Jaffa, he's a sound bloke. He's been a man, Jaffa, in my first 10 fights. He hasn't took a penny off us. That's his crack. He says, "I'll not take a penny off you until you start making big dough." Know what I mean? And he's a fucking sound bloke. Jaffa is part of sound.
Nice. I've knew Jaffa for a while.
I signed the contract when this son. He went, I'm just a name on a piece of paper. He says, if you want to leave at any time, just leave. And you get some of these promotions like you do 2-year contracts with clauses and all that. He's just a boxing fan from the Northeast. He tries to get in the shows and he takes now off, you know what I mean? So he's a fucking sound bloke, not a sound bloke.
It's good. I mean, didn't get us wrong. I mean, it's the whole. I think there needs to be a different system in regards to people getting on shows. You know, like the whole thing of like loads of shows are like this everywhere in all sports. You know, you got to sell so many tickets before you beat it. But a lot of people, so see, like some of the best fighters in the world have got like small fan bases. Do you know Stewie Kennedy or not?
No.
Stewie Kennedy used to. I think he went pro when he was fighting on Jaffa shows, but he, as an amateur, was one of the most talented fighters I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he was a southpaw. He was phenomenal.
Shit hot.
Honest to God, like shit hot, mate. And he went pro, but he couldn't sell tickets, mate. So then he wasn't making money for it, so he couldn't sustain that lifestyle. He's still working and still trying to fight, which is a shame. And it was the end of the road for him, and he stopped. But honestly, mate, like skill-wise, man, he was fucking phenomenal. And for kids like that in similar position, that's what
so many, so many amateurs now for our box for amateur, and you see yourself, thank fuck he didn't turn pro.
Aye.
There's one kid in Burley who's called Isaac Milburn.
Aye.
What a fucking talent, you know.
Aye.
Then he just didn't go to senior, he didn't turn pro. I'm thinking to myself, now if I had your skill, I'd be fucking world champion, you know what I mean? Because I'm the shit kid who trains hard, and you get people who are fucking quality but just didn't train hard.
That's you see that loads. You see that
they don't, yeah.
Life, you know, because they've been so naturally gifted. They haven't had to work because they've already had it, and I feel like that's why for the most part a lot of them do quit because they
definitely
haven't
because they don't want it.
They haven't got that instilled in them to need to work for it. You know, I think that's why the people, as you've seen yourself, you just said yourself, you're one of them guys who's a grinder. I feel like that's why for the most part, most of the people who are the grinder kind of guy
we'll get there. It's just that I'm gonna be that kid who just keeps working, and one day it'll pay off. I'd be like a fucking Mickey Ward type of person. I may get beat. I get outpointed. I was joking on my pal. Yeah, well, you know what? No, me, no. I could probably fight the world champion and beat him on my day. Then I could probably get outpointed by
somebody down
the ranked 24th kid. Know what I mean? Styles make fights. Like in the definitely, and there's so many factors coming into the fight what can change the outcome.
That's why, you know what I mean? Didn't work. It's like you could see, well, you lost that last fight, but then Marco beat him, but it's not in you couldn't and then
beat Marco. I definitely
because it doesn't work that way. Styles make
definitely
it's interesting, and that's what's fucking mint about it. And that's I think
anyone can the top in the UK the top 20. Any top 20 can beat any top 20 on the day, can't they?
100%, yeah, definitely. That's the way I look at it. I mean, it's fucking it's a mint thing, and that's why it's good that people, as you say, you're not testing yourself. Like a lot of people give Josh Kelly a load of stick for that last one and taking that fight with Avanesyan. But I feel like if you believe you're a good fighter, put yourself in them opportunities, because if he'd have won that, maybe he's at the fucking stars. Why not?
Now you didn't realise
too soon. Now you want them testing.
He's only had fucking 11 fights, Josh Kelly, and he's fighting some world level Russian man. And people live now, Dave Animation, he's been world level for years. And amateur, he's had 400 amateur fights. Yeah. He is a top level Russian man.
In my honest opinion, I really like Josh, and I think credit to him for I picked Avanesyan to win the fight before the fight. I honestly did. I really respect him. He's a great talent, and I like him as a person, and I'm his friend.
Well, I respect Josh for taking the fight.
And that's my
I see him.
If you believe you're as good as you are, right, which Josh is a great fighter, test your fucking self and find out why.
Definitely.
Why? Like Jaffa Tony's come out and says he shouldn't have been in the fight. Thingy with Matchroom and this and that and the other. He should have been fighting these people. Why should he fight fucking 40 of these guys, build himself up and get to that when he's young and he's got an opportunity to propel his career?
He'll come back.
Stars.
He'll come back, definitely.
And it was a no risk fight. It was a risk in the fight. He could have got stopped or whatever, but it was a no risk in the sense of if he wins, he's gone to the stars. If he loses, they can say, oh well, it's a little bit too early.
He'll come again. Definitely.
That's why it's like Josh. Credit to you. Anyone who's
came on his shield, like didn't he?
Exactly.
He didn't quit.
You know, when you seen that early on, mate, when you knew the telltale signs was Josh picking him off a lovely boxing setup. When Josh started going heavy on the front,
you knew, didn't you?
That's when you knew, Breed. So
early on as well. Know what I mean?
That's when you could see the table turn.
Them Russians, man.
It's the pressure they bring, mate. That's it. And credit to Josh for taking that. And the loads of people who's coming out and saying he shouldn't have been in this. No, he should have fucking been in there. He's good enough to be in that level of fight. Look at the early rounds, mate. Josh was marking him,
pinging him,
rocking him in that, man.
Do you reckon he should do 11 stone or not? Or do you reckon?
I thought personally, I don't know how much weight he could, but I thought he looked like he could too much weight for that fight, mate. In my personal opinion, I don't know what he could, but looking at the size of David Avanesyan when he weighed in to when he fought, he didn't look much bigger. Josh looked like he rehydrated quite a bit. In the fight, he looked like a man versus boy. He looked so much bigger than him. And I was thinking, well,
that's why boxing's different. You can't cut that much weight in boxing. Can you know what I mean?
That's exactly it. I wouldn't cut much weight because you're leaning on each other, but it's not like a wrestling where you're physically lying on you.
Well, that Pete May nutrition says, hey, if a boxer he doesn't like cut more than 5% fight week.
Exactly, that's perfect. That's exactly the.
So for me, if I was fucking making 6-7 kilos, 3 kilo, 4 kilo max, you know what I mean? Which is
and that is
easy.
the whole week.
Aye,
See,
for a
normally
week.
for me, if I had that again in the morning, I'd be like,
Aye,
you know what I mean?
aye.
So that's perfect. That if I had 4 kilo.
I would actually hate, man, water loading. People don't
How
understand.
much water do you drink in water load? What's your
6 litres and I'm
See, I
just...
did 10 for like 2 weeks, mate. 2 weeks, 10.
How many
10,
piss we have in a day?
Oh, fucking
100.
ridiculous, mate. Kidneys hurting.
You wake up 10 times a night, man, don't you?
All night.
Fucking mental.
That whole time, you don't get any sleep. It's broken.
Mental.
In the night, pissing, back to bed, sleep, pissing. Constantly with like
Crazy,
10,
man.
10.
Crazy.
10. 5.
What do we do it for, man?
Mad?
My mum told us years ago, Sunday day box, choose football, get a nice job, be an accountant. Daft could now, chooses fucking the box.
It's like, it's on the
I've got one wicked nostril, because this nostril's caved in. I'm like, oh, man.
I'd say fucking hell, man. Like, I did football in school. I got knee grades. I was kicked out of the fucking wall and I was in it. You know, I was in there. I was stoned. I was fucking.
Me though, I'm quite smart. I've got a foundation degree. I've passed all my college courses and that. And Daft couldn't choose the fucking box.
I'm quite smart in other ways. I'm not academically like accomplished. You know, I've got knee grades from school, but I'm not stupid. I'm not like that. You know, I can hold the conversation. I'd be interested in different things. Just school was just something that I couldn't fucking. I just like having the piss, mate.
Having the laugh.
Just having a laugh and just having the piss and just went there to just.
Not many people can sit down like me and you, like on a straight head and have a conversation though. Can they? It's fucking mental.
That's what's mad about it, you know, mate. It's crazy. It's especially for fighters, you know, when people fight, they just think for the most part, they just think fucking brute, you know, like I've got out about it. For fighting, for me, for the most part, I think it's a smart man's game. And it's about working out a puzzle. And
definitely, and I think as well, when you go up levels, you've got to leave your ego in the can. I've so many times I've walking around in the gym. Oh, excuse me, can I join your session? You do touch bar, you do text bar, and you just pick up certain things, didn't you?
That's it. You can learn something from anyone. You know, you can. A lot of people who say.
I listen to everybody. Someone could be sitting there, he could be the biggest plum going, but I listen, because you could tell us 99 things was bullshit, but you could tell us that one thing, I think, oh yeah, fuck me. What's that, matey? Touches. You know what I mean?
It's great, mate. It's cool as fuck, man. It's just a main thing, fighting's fucking class, man. It's
fucking whatever day,
bro. It's a lie. Yeah, I mean, didn't get us on. You can be a blagger early on and give it the big licks and be fighting some knackers and smashing cans and look the part. But when you start getting further up the ladder and the
cream hours rises, man.
You get found out, and that's what's mint about it, mate. You know, you see the people who are getting out there and testing themselves. You might get the odd after you gives you a bit of shit when you lose. For the most part, people who know the crack know what you're doing, can see the vision what you've got. So it's good, man, yeah, and that's why I love it. Like, as I say, I'm super excited to see you butt in and see.
I fucking can't wait, me.
Have they said any potential?
Well, Ritten's fighting for the World Title Eliminator at the arena, and that was meant to be me. But I think Eddie Hearn might wait till the crowds are back and get in June, because for him it makes sense to have that on at arena and make money in the full crowd. Know what I mean? So if he's fighting there, I'd be fighting on there. Know what I mean?
Have you got any potential? People in line.
No potential, but this kick out Thomas Broadbent's me corners out. He's from Sheffield Leeds. He's his claim of fame. He fought Marco over 4 rounds, and he was beating Marco on points. And in the last round, Marco Coleman knocked him out. But his claim of fame was he was beating Marco on points. And one day I was sitting down, scrolling from my phone, and I go on that Sky Sports app, and I seen a headline saying, I will stop laws, I will smash laws. I think who's this daft gun Cal Laws? Next it's me. I'm like, what the fuck's this Thomas Broadbent? And I jumped straight on the fucking on the Facebook. Well, listen, who the fuck you talking to? And had a face from on Zoom call with Annie IFL. And he's basically saying I'm shit and he's gonna school us. I'm like, well, listen, let's get on. Know what I mean?
That'll be good night. So how many fights has he had now?
He's had a boot 19-1-12 at the guest. No, just won them once. But he's fought some top kids.
So
he's fought top kids. He's beat good kids. He's beat undefeated kids and all that. But I think he's 33. So I think he's like not done, not finished. So I think I'm gonna get himself in amazing shape and just grind him down.
So what's a regular For people who didn't know, so day to day, obviously in camp or whatever, what's a regular training day for you? Like, what's a day in your life essentially? What is it?
Training day, let's choose a Monday. I wake up at 7:45, get a quick bob squash, and I head straight to the gym. On the way to the gym, I stop at Costa Coffee. My pal works there. Mass spec goes out on Michael Jameson. I get a free Costa Coffee off him. And I go straight to the gym. And I do boxing with Nick for between 1 and 2 hours. Pads, shadow, bags, drills, you name it. I finish there about 11. I go home. I do my stretching, my yoga, my ice bath, and I'm finished by about 12:1. And then I go to strength training at 2:30. I finish at about 4, come back, get all sorted. And at night time, I just do like steady state cardio, now just for calorie burning and to flush the muscles out for the next day. So I train 2-3 times a day, and on spawn days, I do my cardio in the morning and spawn the night time.
So how many days a week do you spawn?
I do like 1 open spar a week. And
is that more technical, that one, or is that a heavier one?
No, a heavy one.
Heavy one.
One open spar, and then but through the week I do loads of tech work with like specific stuff. I couldn't even say that. Specific stuff. So it could be like just inside stuff, could be long range stuff. And then on the open spar, I try to put all the tech, all the stuff I've been working on through the week into play. Know what I mean? But like you say, the older I'm getting, all these heavy spars week by week, I'm getting injured and all that, know what I mean? So 1 week I made cut off the head. Well, lie. Spark it up.
Right.
It's like smoking a cardboard box. It's fucking mint. But I saw like some days I might skip 1 open spar and then just do loads of tech stuff. But every week I spar, have about 12 sessions a week. In it, boy. And then come Saturday, I'm absolutely like, come the day in the morning, I just rest.
So how many days off do you have? Do you have 1?
1. I have 1 full day off, and then 1 day I just do like long cardio,
like active recovery.
That's
the way I like to do that. I would say I used to all
my Monday, Friday I train specifically. Then on Saturday, Sunday I have active recovery, and on one of the days I just rest.
So for me, what I used to do was, right, this is my last, I think it's been my last 2 fights. I've adopted a new thing, because what I would always say, right, on Monday, I'm doing this session and then I'm wrestling. Tuesday, I'm grappling here with a pro session at North East Jiu-Jitsu. Then I'm doing this. Wednesday, I'm kickboxing on the night. So on the morning, I'm going to do strength and conditioning. I would do it like that, and then it would get to the day where I was meant to be off, and I would feel mint. But then I got to the gym the next day, and a day that I was meant to be busy, and that day shite. So what I started to do was I would just say, right, I'm not having a day off. I'm not having a set day. I'm going to train all my sessions that's already planned. And then if it gets to a deal, when
you fucked, you just rested.
Often I feel like that for me. I mean, people like to have structure, but that for me, I felt like I was getting the most out of my body for the days I needed it, and then on the day when I was feeling, I would recover. I was going for a long walk or something.
I like that. I was watching a podcast with Joe Rogan one, and he was saying the human body does know a day. The human body does not know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It doesn't know a rest day. The human body only knows when your body needs rest. You know what I mean? So fucking, but the thing is, boxers, it becomes very OCD-ish.
Yeah.
You like, I plan the full week out, where I'm doing this day, that day, this day, that day, so it looks good.
Yeah.
Where in reality, whereas in reality, on your rest day, you might feel mint, and on spawn day, you might feel shit.
You know what I mean? And it's a whole week after that.
Definitely,
fucking how did I do that?
Definitely.
Shit the whole day. But then the didn't get us wrong. There's been on the days I've went to spa, knowing that I've had some good kid coming up or whatever, and I've went there and I've been absolutely fucked, and I've had the best spa in my life. There's been days when I've gone to the gym feeling bouncing, feeling lit, and I've gone in and I've my head fucking.
It's metal. It's metal.
I mean, this and that.
The shows how
caught with submission. I would never get caught with, and it's like,
that shows how much is on the head though. Because some days you feel fucked and you feel mint in the gym, and full days you walk and you feel mint, and you.
It's like they're not fighting.
And you get fucked.
I mean, didn't get us wrong. There's fights where I felt like that. I thought, right, like. I'm gonna fucking light this kid up on, and look, mint is gonna be thinking I've gone in and done shit.
Do you have any like fucking special fucking?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Aye,
Then I thought
aye.
then a little bit of paper there. I just said rituals.
And rituals out, aye.
I used to when I was a kid. Right, my mum went to Amsterdam and she brought us back these boxer shorts with cannabis sleeves on. So I always.
And where them?
On fight day, it was the same day you weigh in when I was a boxer. So I would fight. I'd wear them to weigh in, and I'm fighting them, and I got. Yeah, I don't know if you remember them. Can you remember them Adidas for rocks? The white wrestling boots that all the fucking kids used to box in back in the day. Little white horse.
I did.
A pair of them, and I fucking went up with Davy Binns to box against Scotland, right? And if I'd have won the junior area final, I would have been boxing against a kid called Cal Ellenor from Scotland, who the kid who beat me ended up boxing. So I went up there with Davy Binns and Declan Fusco. There was a couple of us went up there to box against Scotland.
Loads of talent like Declan Fusco, wasn't he?
And he's a fucking good kid. And I boxed against that Callum Susans there, and I absolutely fucking panned him, mate. I smashed him. I remember sitting down before the last round, and Davy was fucking talking to us. There was a ring girl in the ring here. It was the first time in my life that I'd been in a fight on a show. It was a ring girl, because in boxing back in the day there wasn't.
9 ring girls, aye.
And Dave's like, fucking on about the bird. I'm going to be cracking that. I was like, this is fucking mad. He's like, how are you feeling now? My fucking min. He's like, we've gone out there and have some fun. Guys there, I'm switching him, bang, bang, making him look stupid, mate. But he was attacking loads, but he wasn't. I was catching him, spinning off, making him look stupid, mate. Comes out, I've got my hand up there, Declan, all the lads, fucking little Kevin, everyone there. I'm stood there with me arm up straight away, and they fucking give him the decision. I'm like, are you fucking for real? He didn't lay a glove on us. I fucking passed him. And then after that fight, so I went on a bit of a stint. I lost the junior final. Then I lost that fight at Callum Susans. Then I fought a kid called Antonio Cunahan, who'd had fucking loads of fights, beat everyone in mid-record. I think he lost like 8 out of like 70 at the time. It was a phenomenal kid. Really, really good from Chelmsley Wood. I don't know if that's still a gym, but it was like Birmingham. I remember fucking, it was mad, mate. We were warming up, and there was fucking guys smoking skunk joints at the door, and the full room stunk of skunk. There's smoke above the ring, and I remember walking in there, and I lost that one, and I had them for rocks on. Then I said, you know what? I'm not wearing them boots anymore.
Never again.
From then, now the only real routine I would say I have was the way I set my bag out, on fight day. Oh, see, from my last few, because it's been abroad. So the day I'm sitting on my stuff, I'll put my bag there, right? So I think about me check, and I think me every what do I need? Because we fight with knee socks and shoes on. It's just about gum shield ready, so I can read. Gum shield there, the vitals. Gum shield there, my boxes there, my shorts is there, fight banner, whatever. But as long as I've got the essentials there, as long as I know that's right, everything else just passport inside.
Yeah, I always feel like if you get some more, then you come fight there. Yeah, I was there.
It's missed. Lovely, that, isn't it?
Cushy, isn't it?
Nice, mate. Is it Cuban or what is it?
Cuban. I got these from Mexico. I got a fucking I got a pack of like 20 for a week. Everyone needs. I'm gonna keep for the win. Gonna get with and enjoy nice Cubans, some nice carbs, doing this fucking lethal.
So do you place one of them after you win? No, do you? do you feel like it affects you or not?
Lethal, man. Lethal. Man, it's quite true.
I smoke fucking plenty of fucking weed, mate. You know what I mean? And people always say to me, I get kids' messages on my Instagram saying like, oh, neither wonder you lost that fight. It's the fucking thing. And I'm like,
fuck off. You see these Thai fighters, man. I went to Thailand, and one time we'll go about this. Did you not watch the ultimate fight? I went George St. Pierre. He was pissed as fucking. He was brain kids all over. But I went to fucking Thailand and I seen this Thai fighter. He was drinking the pint, having a snout. I looked at him. He looked ripped to bits. I went, when you're fighting, he went tomorrow. When you fight tomorrow, when I'm paying for a hotel tomorrow, and when you're drinking, I went, don't worry. I was go fucking storm right, and then the next day, what?
It's mad, man. That's what I mean. And a lot of that, I think, personally, mindset for one.
You can't overthink it, can't you?
Of course you can.
I'm not saying no to the youth coming through. Can't get pissed and can't smoke. You know what I mean? But it's like that right balance, isn't it?
Anything in moderation, mate. It's like that. It's like if you get pissed every single day you can, it's going to have a knock-on effect and you're going to get fucked
Definitely.
Up. But that's not saying you couldn't have a drink.
Definitely.
John Jones, mate. John Jones used to see a week before his fight to cover his own thing. He would say, I would get absolutely full mental. Get fucking steaming, and then if I thought that was me backup thing for I lost, because then I would say,
on one of his drug tests, he fell for cocaine. So he must be he must be full of the powder up to 2 days before his fight.
That's what I'm saying. It's mad, man, and it's like it's a fucking mad thing, mate. It's like out moderation, and you can't overthink it and stuff like that. And it's
one day I tried. Like,
It's getting blasted.
the do the fight, get look at the shots, dude. Fuck it, let's go, Charlton. I thought you come and piss and fuck him.
It's funny as fuck, man, but it is. It's probably like a mindset thing. Like if you look at Nate Diaz, mate. He's just a tough motherfucker. He's not
Fights-
great. Like
he
look at how much
fights
damage he
stone
takes.
to
But
bits.
but I take it,
Mental.
and he just that's it. And if he's thinking in his head, I'm going in there and I'm not fucking going to get knackered and I'm not this, then 9 times out of 10 you're just going to get through it. Whereas if you're panicking about the shit before you're going in, then you fucking.
I went to Vegas to watch the Diaz versus McGregor one.
Did you?
It was fucking mint.
Unreal. I was buzzing, mate. I was buzzing that he won that fight.
Yeah, I was rooting for Conor, but no, after he got caught with a 1-2 slap, and his legs just went. I thought, yeah, he's done, He's got a fucking neck cramp, didn't he?
He got
fucking mint. It was.
I was buzzing, mate, because I felt like it's good to see a pioneer who's been there for that long for everyone got no
hard as fuck as well.
To then get something like that on 10 days notice when he's on a boat in the middle of the ocean drinking and
drinking, drinking as well. Man,
you know it is. That's exactly the mindset.
Like if he didn't drink like 20 pints and he can't, like just if I wonder how much affects in the body just a few shots of tequila does to you. You know what I mean?
It's probably fucking little.
Probably now and then, but just. All mindset in it,
George St. Pierre, I'm sure he used to drink a bottle of red wine on it. Not a bottle of bottle of red wine and it'd be fucking bloggy. No, I think he used to drink a glass of red wine on a night or something. I think it's something to do with your blood. I can't remember what it was. I think it helps with
something with blood.
Or maybe, I don't know, I'll have to look into the facts behind it, but I'm sure I haven't seen something like that before by drinking a glass of red wine and that. I mean, it's mad. I mean, as you see, all drink does to you essentially is it's gonna fucking dehydrate you. So if you, as long as you're staying hydrated and you're fit anyway, I can't see you having too much of a.
Just have a Gatorade after. Big sound. It's salty. Big fucking kush, mate.
Bombs and then you get
fucking kush.
Alright, fucking hell. But as I say, it's a mad thing, but fighting's just a mad thing in general, isn't it? It's fucking crazy. I'm glad it's a life.
It's a legalized straight now. You get paid for.
I remember my name, and
for people's entertainment.
My first MMA fight, race. I remember because fucking, it's mad. You have all these ideas of it, and then when you sign on the dotted line and you get to the venue and you see the cage and you're thinking, fucking hell, like this kid can knee me in the face. I'm fighting in these tiny little gloves where you're guaranteed you're getting caught. It's like fucking hell, then you get this fucking sheet, you listen to the rules meeting and it's like no fucking spiking on the head, this and that, and you're like, hang on a minute, and you're reading this paper and it's sign. Like a waiver, you can be paralysed.
You're signing your life. You're signing your life, we aren't you? Like,
this is fucking mad. Like
it's
what?
Crazy.
I'm getting in there and having a fucking cage fight, but it's same as boxing, man. I remember like loads of times I remember fucking going out and being fucking terrified, like literally fucking terrified me, you know what I mean? And it's just one of them things. Once you walk out, you're fucking out there. You take jumping off a diving board. I always see you stood backstage on a diving board. Once you tap that step, you're gone. You're getting in the water, then you're having the fight. Then there's
no going back.
And that's it. After that, you're fine. You come. There's only been one fight that I can remember in my mind where I've still been nervous after that point. And when I fought at the Metro Radio, I remember I was fucking bricking it backstage, like proper bricking. I walks out, fucking gets in the cage, fucking looks up, everything's fucking mad. And I remember still being nervous at the point when Nathan had walked out and was still in the cage there. I was still nervous then until the fucking
first bell happens.
Whereas normally it's well gone by then, I normally feel fine by that point, but it was fucking mad.
I think the first minute of the first round, you get a gauge and you're not if it's going to be a hard fight. He's not giving you.
It's mad because you've gone through little. You land a shot and you go, I'm winning. And then you get hit with something or something like that and you can fuck. It's not gone reap. It's a constant little.
Well, fucking before the Charlton fight, I was in my head, I'm going to smash you. The first minute in the round, I'm singing, I want to smash you. Next thing I'm on face, you're thinking, Reece. So one shot, one elbow, one kick, and just change the fake on it.
Yeah, that's it. It's one of them things. It's a game of inches. It's the smallest little things can make massive differences in it. You might one. It's a chess match essentially, boxing and MMA. And you might one bad move and
game over.
It's a fucking cruel sport. As a fucking boxing fan myself, I always have been, always will be. I watch it all the time. I'm a fan. I mean, don't get us wrong. There's a lot of guys coming up now that I watch, but I love the old classics and stuff like that. What's your favorite fight of all time in boxing? What's the one that you've watched the most and enjoyed? I know it's a hard question.
Castillo Corrales.
Great fight, yes. Great fight.
Watch them fights, and I just want to be in one of them fights where where people saying, oh, Laws is down again, he's out next year, Laws lands a windmill, he's fucking upside now on them fights. I just want to be in fights where people still watching fights after I've retired. You know what I mean?
That's it.
It's fucking
that's why the gutties in the water.
My amateur fights, if you spoke to any amateur official, amateur coaches, they would say, yeah, I remember Laws in the Cracking Moor down Wakefield, a Cracking Moor down there. I want to be in them fights where once I retire, the up and comers are going, yeah, fucking, I watch your fight. Yeah, it's going to be not having a war. Know what I mean?
See, that's what I remember about a lot of Glenn Foot's early fights. You know,
he was a handful.
He was just a raw kid.
Handful.
Just a handful. I mean, Scott Cardle. I remember watching loads of his fights. You know, I mean, he was in the junior ABA fans the year I got beaten, and I remember talking to him after. And you know what? Like, for someone, I'll never forget it. Like, I was sat backstage crying my eyes out, and he was in the changing room, and I was sat there crying, and he was the one who would come out for us, and he sat there talking to us, and he's like, fucking being sound as fuck. That's why still to this day, he doesn't know who I am, mate, but I've still got a lot of respect for him, and I like watching these fights just because of that. You know, for him to come out there, his kids in there crying, but I remember he was being sound as fuck about it, and I already knew who he was. You know, I watched these fights. I watched his fight with Dudley O'Shaughnessy in the Boys Cup final, which was amazing fight, mate. Amazing fight. If anyone's watching, watch that.
He went on a fucking sauce team, yeah, man. So
he was amazing.
Modelling, didn't he?
I did the modelling, and then he started going more out. But he was a great fighter. Joe Purvis boxing in the Boys Cup final, and that's another thing about Dark Ages stuff. The Jameson NBC had young Joe Purvis fucking sauna and weight off out of water that morning for a same day win. You know, like you can't see that.
Crazy, yeah.
Fought Dudley O'Shaughnessy first round. He looked alright. After that, he was stop. You know what I mean? And that was a fight that Joe arguably could have won. You know, and that's the shit that people didn't say. I mean,
he had the right job, that Dudley, didn't he? Fuck boxing up, let's go to modelling. What a guy. What a fucking guy. I tell you.
Savage. I mean, he's in that video where I can't remember what song it is, and he's in the video, right? Fucking hell, what song is that? I'll have to remember. But that fight with Scott Cardle, man, the Boys Cup final, I think was in Blackpool or somewhere like that, and I don't know if you've seen it. Fucking great fight, mate. Great fight. But my personal favourite fight, obviously, I love the fucking Gatti Wards. Hagler Hearns, man.
Hagler
Hearns is one of them big guys, what we're seeing.
Them 3 rounds, man.
Fucking the best 3 rounds.
Hagler, you do not want to fight a Hagler, man. Apparently, his forehead had more bone than, like, no, his skull was thicker. I'm like, fucking hell, man. You would hear your hand. You would hear how disheartening would it be. Like, throwing a right hand, knowing that you fucking threw a hard right hand, knowing you've landed and someone just laughing at it. Imagine how disheartening that would be, you think, in for a long night, yeah.
Aye, horrible, mate. But that day of mine, I mean, that last round, it was at the round 11 with Castillo. Fucking tremendous. Fucking.
He got dropped left hook, man. He came, he just landed. Fucking mint, man.
Veteran tricks, gumtails there again, and then boom.
Mint, fucking mint. It was mint.
Fucking amazing. I must have watched that about 100 times.
Well, suppose it's been like that Scott Cardle and all that. It's not, it's mad from amateur days. Yeah, you grow up, right, and you see all these kids. I was going to box with Josh Kelly, all these kids. And as the years go on, some take to the pros. Yeah. Some get an engineering job. Some end up in jail. It's mental how it just plans out in this.
It's a mad thing. Just some people spiral one way. And what I love about it is, mate, it's networking. You meet some kid who you probably think you would never meet. My friends Raymond, and that links you on to someone else. And
definitely.
Different pathways.
The branches kicking loose.
And it's just opening doors for you. I mean, like, fucking hell, like, fighting for me personally. I mean, I have knees now from school. I kind of fucking regular stuff work-wise. I'm a bit of a fucking spaz, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So it's just, for me, it's like led us on to meeting different people and opening doors and speaking to people who I never thought I would get to speak. You know, people who I've
looked up to.
It's a mad thing.
On my memories, this time last year, I was down in Sky Sports Studio on Sky speaking to what do you call it, man? What do you call it? Fuck me, man. Nice and black. Well, anyway, I was in the Sky Sports Studio speaking to Joy Nelson. That and I would house like live on Sky. I'm like, I've been watching this for years. My dad's the lectures. My dad's went flip flops in the Sky studio. I'm like, it was mental, man. I was like, yeah, this is crazy, man.
Crazy fights, like engaging all my mates and like fucking me doll come
getting picked up in private taxis up like Sky Sports.
It's my, you know,
I'm fucking
fly away to fight in the country. You've got someone you waiting for you, and you're like, that's fucking for me.
It's so bad. It's fucking mint. It's fucking mint, man, isn't it?
I'm like, as you see there, your dog, my dog's the same. I get in the fight through my dog rocks up, we put a pair of camouflage shorts on.
Yeah, my dad's followed us everywhere. Every amateur fight he turns up. I'll be boxing Norway for England, Slovakia, Hungary. Just turns up in the same hotel. I'll be waiting up fight day. Next now, look, I'm like, whoa, is that me dad? He'll be coming in, walking in, getting two fucking plane journeys, four planes. You're looking and I'm here.
Fucking midnight, that's it. I mean, like we documented Milan for that last one, he wasn't even allowed because we were in a bubble, that's what they were calling it. So no one was allowed to see us outside of that. So I couldn't see my dog till after the fight, but just before the fight, he couldn't in the hotel room. But got to see him then and then spend a bit of time in Milan room after, because we weren't even allowed outside the hotel till after the fights were done. You know what I mean? The next day we got to go now, but I was out there for ages quarantine. But it's mint. I mean, obviously having that support system around is class, and it's inspirational, and it's just a mad fucking journey, mate. You know, and as I said earlier, like if anyone gets the chance to fucking fight, they should try it.
1,000,000%.
It's fucking definitely one of them things. But I'll wrap it up there, Joe. Anyway, if that's all right with your time.
Mint, that'd be loved it, man. Put a good crack, mate.
So anyone, I'll tag Joe Laws's Instagram handles and put some videos on for you, and stay tuned. There's more coming. Much love.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that, bud.
That was mint crack, that, you know.